All right, we're back again. So yeah, a lot of people don't understand, we've tried to prove them wrong, or we have proven them wrong, and we've tried to bring it to their attention, like, hey, look, you guys are wrong here, and they refuse to address it. And instead, they want to try to make us look bad and say, oh, well, how long have you been doing your method? Or the same amount of time that you've been doing yours, Robert. So if that's going to be a determining factor, we could say the same thing. But what we have and he doesn't is our sister Libby, who's been doing this calendar for 50 years.
It's too bad that he doesn't want to go on some sort of live chat and have Libby involved. I mean, I love her explanation of Samuel, the rock and everything. Or is that First Kings?
No,
Well,
that's
maybe that's Chronicles, right? Maybe we could jump on that Jackson Snyder and do that presentation. You need to really press on him.
well, that's the thing is I've invited Robert here, and I was like, okay, I invite you to our Telegram group so we can, reason together through scriptures, and we can, better understand each other. He refused. He absolutely refused. Same thing with Jason Robb. I invited him in the same post. I mentioned both of them.
That shows that they don't even trust their own foundation.
Yeah,
Because if you got a firm foundation to stand on, you're going to be able to have a firm backing on everything.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I said. I was like, you guys can come on and I will show you exactly the evidence of what we're speaking about. And then we can go from there. And the funny thing is, Jason Robb, he never stops replying. He'll always go back and forth. He didn't on that post. He didn't say a word on that post. And I even went to him like a week later because he tried commenting on another one of my posts. And I was like, oh, what about me inviting you to our Telegram group so we can go over this? I was like, you didn't say a peep on that post. And he's like, oh, all right, I'll go. And I was like, all right, so here's the invite info, all this. And he's like, oh, I'm not going on Telegram. We could do it here on Messenger. I was like, no, I invited you to come to Telegram so I can share the screen and show you visually what we were speaking about. And of course, he backed out. Yeah, I've invited both of them to come on here and present so we can also record it and have it on YouTube as well. Just to show people like, hey, look. They both refused. They'll go back and forth all day in the comments on, oh, how long have you been doing this? How long this? But as soon as you ask them a question, they dodge it. Or they'll change the subject and answer with another question. Wait, what do you got there, Sister Sumi? Interesting. Trees. Yeah, and really, it's so simple, and it lines up with all the witnesses of heavens. Really, we just start the count at zero, just like Yahuah did, just like everything is counted starting at zero. When computer programming, when they're making a program, they always start with the number zero because it's more efficient. Being children in school, they teach us all to start our count from zero. It's really not a hard concept. And then when you show them, Genesis 1, 1 through 2, they're like, oh, that's not a day before the days. And it's like, well, you start the count in the morning when the light came to be, right? Well, yeah. So then what's all this stuff before the light came to be?
Here's
the
here's
oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
because you have this answer. I need the scripture for it. Jason Robb goes, there is no day witnessed by the circuits of the sun and moon that do not count as a day of the week. Enoch spoke of the 4 seasonal days each year. What is the one verse that proves the divider?
Enoch 72:5. When the sun is going into that portal in heaven in the north, it's an unnamed portal. And in that same way, he's going into the great fourth portal.
You're going to have to slow it down. Enoch 72:5 is when the sun is going into... You have a write-up on it?
I don't have a write-up, but I do have this little meme I made about it. It explains it. Let me grab it. Yeah, there it is in the chat. I have the verse in there and everything.
Okay. So, I still want to be able to explain it, though, and then I'll post that. So, Enoch 72:5. Oh, shoot, I just erased it all. Crap. Well, essentially, you're saying this meme says it. Shows the sun enters the portal of heaven and shines in the heaven, and then the same way he rises to the great portal, the fourth. The yearly divider day.
Exactly.
Jeremy, it says in Enoch 72 that the portal is unnamed.
Yeah, it doesn't name it. It just says into that portal in heaven.
So it's not a counted portal.
Yeah, it's not a counted portal. Yeah,
Very interesting.
it's a zero portal. Yeah, exactly. And that's how we also see it's marking this 0 day, the divider day, the void day. The same day right there in Genesis 1, 1 through 2. The day that was void, chaos. It's always in that same spot. And yeah, and then when you try to share this with people, they get all upset because, they're holding on to their Saturday Sabbath. And, I was in that too. I was holding on to Saturday Sabbath. But when you actually truly look into it, you can't prove it wrong. Sure, you can hand wave dismiss evidence. You can say, oh, things are fabricated in the Dead Sea Scrolls while you are using authors' insertions, which are fabrications. All these things. But when you get down to the bottom of it, the evidence is right there and it can't be dismissed. As much as they want to dismiss it, they can't be because it's actually in the scrolls. We read it in the scrolls. But yeah, I would also add in there, Ezekiel 44, that's going to show us Yahuah himself appointed the sons of Zadok to keep the calendar and the festivals and to settle disputes about it as well. So if we have their writings, which, yes, they try to discredit them a lot, why are people ignoring them? We have their writings, we have their calendar, it's all laid out. A few things here and there are fragmented, yes, but it's still laid out very clearly how it should go. And it all lines up with, these markers in the heavens that we see, the Tekufa, the stars. And to deny that and say, oh, well, we're going to wait for the closest Wednesday, when Wednesday wasn't even a day that existed at that time. It was actually named after, I think, Mars or something. It was like Mars. DS
He said
Mars.
Enoch spoke of the 4 seasonal days each year. They do not count as a day of the month, but they still count as a day of the week. Well, the divider day still has a place of the week, right?
Yeah, and I've showed him that the evidence in 4Q324D and 4Q394, where it literally says the day after the last Sabbath is added. I've shared all that with him, and he has nothing to say about it. But yeah, it's, all we can do is pray for people. We've tried time and time again to reason together with them through the scriptures. We've invited them on to say, hey, let's reason together through scripture. They turn it down. They don't want to address our questions and evidence we have showing where they're incorrect. That's why I think it's actually really good because, we're actually reaching a lot of hungry people who want the truth, and they actually look into it instead of hand wave dismissing everything. And that's really important for coming together as well, because we do all need each other. Absolutely. And it took all of us coming together to figure all this information out. You got some grapes there, Sumi? Frozen grapes. Yeah, I like those too. Yeah, no, frozen grapes. My mom would give us those when I was a child too, so I still do it. It's actually really good. They actually stay pretty soft for being frozen. It's almost like a slushy. Yeah, exactly. No, they're good. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, it is a good thing, and we see all the hungry people that truly seek truth. You know, they're coming to it whether they want to join our group or they're in another group or what have you. But we see that snowball effect happening. You know, once more people see this and then they can study it into all of it themselves, that's when, you know, they're going to find more information, things we haven't found. Just like, you know, the ones before us, you know, we found things they weren't able to find. Like Sister Libby, we found all kinds of stuff that only verified what she's already been observing for like 50 years. Take it you're still typing away there, Katrina?
I'm on fire. Yes, yes, I am.
Sounds like you had to get some water to help refuel.
What was that?
I
I
said,
had to get.
I heard somebody like get in some water to like refuel.
Oh, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Can you hear
Getting
me
some
now?
water. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it sounded like you were getting some water to like refuel.
Oh yeah, no, I'm coconut water. I need some coconut water. I've been drinking
Coconut water.
salt water all day. I need some flavor.
Yeah, coconut water is really good for you.
Mm.
And
I never know where to get
Oh,
it.
the brand, it's Hold on a second. Let me show you. This brand is so good. Where is? Oh, oh my goodness! It's so delicious. You could like chug about 5 of them. Hold on a
Okay.
second. Why can't turn this stuff? It's really small, but there is a little sugar in it. But it's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
yeah,
It it
coconut
tastes like
water.
Fruit Loops. It tastes like Fruit Loops. Like if you're
Ooh.
drinking Fruit Loops, it's so good.
I mean, coconut water has like its own like natural electrolytes in it, right? Like
Mhm.
I heard it's really good for hydration.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, the coconut water, the coconut milk, the coconut oil, even.
Yeah, our natural food store only has coconut water available in like cans, unfortunately, which I'm sure has aluminum in them. So I'm always like,
Yeah. Grow your own coconuts. I tried that here, but it gets way too hot and the tree died. Like we have palm trees here, but coconut palm trees, they don't like that heat.
oh, well, bummer.
Yeah. It was in a spot where it's shaded half the day as well, and it was too much heat.
We need to find a compound like on a coast.
Yeah, tropical. Can
Yeah.
grow anything. Uh, Coconut's really good for you. Pineapple, elderberry. There's a fruit. It's called guanabana or soursop. It's really good for you.
So I'm just trying to read out loud. So there's no such thing as a 0 day. It is never the first day of the week. It is never the first day of the week 2 days in a row, or the second day of the week 2 days in a row, and so on. You can't have 8 or 9 days between the last Sabbath of the year and the first Sabbath of your new year, because it contradicts what is written.
And yet, no sour sauce. It tastes like a banana and an apple mix, kind of. Like
Oh, wait, did
that's
you
a
hear
similar
me?
thing. Yeah, yeah, I heard you. I was just answering
Oh,
to
okay.
me too.
Okay. So what I said, I'm going to repeat it one last time, was Enoch 72:5, the unnamed portal, where the sun shines into the heaven. Yes, this divider day is exactly like the seasonal days. They hold their place in the year, but not in the month. The divider day holds its place to separate the year, which really is amazing. The 7-day count is perpetual inside a 364-day year, inside a 365-day solar cycle. Super simple. Yah's weeks don't change, but the Gregorian week does, because they don't do what Yah does and skip one day to hold the 364-day year.
Perfect. I would also say, where is the evidence of adding anything to this count, like what he
Well,
does to stick to a Saturday Sabbath?
Well, yeah, doesn't he cite the equinox and then move it to a first Wednesday?
Yeah, that's exactly what he does.
Well, and I'm always confused because how do you get 52 weeks of Sabbaths if there's never a break?
Yeah,
You can't.
yeah.
That's the point that
Right.
I'm trying to make. They don't agree with the fact there's 365 days in they won't admit to it. They won't admit to how many days are in a year. Like from vernal equinox. They won't. They won't go there because they want to stick to there's 364 days only. No more. But you're right, because that's why the Gregorian week shifts, is because it doesn't skip the day Yah skips. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just keeps on going on and on. It's really sad that he doesn't understand that part.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's so simple, but it's so hard for them to grasp, really.
I mean, is it truly hard for them to grasp, or, you know, Jeremy, like that video that I shared with you and Katrina about how, like, um is it truly people not understanding, or the fact that they would have to rewrite everything they already wrote? Like, everything in history is already stamped with the narrative it's given, and to go back on it, you would have to uncarve, literally erase, and told people, sorry, JK, we were wrong. I mean, it's harder for people to do that than to admit. I
It's
mean,
that pride problem.
yeah.
Exactly. I was just putting it in a nice way. But yeah, it's that pride problem. It's like, no, I already have this all figured out. I'm not going to change anything. I've already been teaching this, so I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah, it's sad, unfortunately. Yeah, it was tough for me too at first, but once you see it, you're like, well, you gotta die to yourself and follow Yahuah and whatever Yahuah is saying.
Is
So if
Marissa
he's
on?
telling,
Oh, crap. Never mind.
um,
Because she said she was going to do a write-up about this.
Yeah, I don't see her on.
But I could probably use this, right? Here, I'm going to put it in chat. I just kind of took what she was explaining and put it all together.
Yeah, that's it. That's what she was talking about.
Sorry, I jumped out for a minute, but I'm back.
No
Oh,
worries.
Marissa, did you ever do that write-up of explaining why Enoch counts 0?
No, what you just posted is probably the closest to it.
So, could you just type up a shutdown comment at the end of it for me to say this is like Enoch even uses his Enoch uses 0 in his mathematical equations or something like that. I don't know. You get spicy sometimes, right?
What, do you think I'm from the Northeast or something?
You are. Hello. That's how I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a really good shutdown at the end of this so I can seal the deal here. See, it's not like we want to be right here with these guys. It's that they're coming on posts of our brethren saying the crap that they do and telling people it's wrong. And it's like, dude, you guys are we're supposed to be Echad. We are no better than the Christians at this point. With all these different denominations and Zadok groups needs to do it better. They have to come together in unity. Unfortunately, they're just causing more division.
And the reason they're doing that is because, when they were trying to do that with us, we would shut them down. They would have nothing to say.
Yeah.
So they're going to all these newcomers who don't know a whole lot about it.
Right.
And they're trying to attack that way.
Exactly.
And the sad part, we're not even attacking or anything. We're just like, hey, look, this is what we found.
Right. Yeah, it's just like here.
But yeah, this is pretty much what we deal with a lot of the time. So it's nothing new, but yeah, going back to the coconuts and the healthy stuff, it goes to taking care of our temples, and because our bodies are the temple to Yahuah while we're here on earth. And while, yes, they poison the air and the water, and because of their, spraying the stuff, it poisons the ground as well. It's really hard to avoid, but, no weapon formed will prosper. So, we eat as healthy as possible. We don't worry about, I would stop buying the name brand stuff. That's what I do. I don't buy any of that name brand stuff because these big companies, they put all these chemicals in there. You try to grow as much of your own as possible. Raise your own, like having chickens or sheep or goats or even cows, things like that. I think I also made a tab, if you guys didn't notice, in the other group, our library group, about, you know, off-grid stuff, basically, like, in case something happens. These videos will basically teach you how to, use your surroundings to not only build like a shelter, but straight up build a house. You know, use what's around you and, be self-sufficient. There's all kinds of techniques on, how to use clay and make it as a like plant or a mortar. So you can, take these big rocks and stack them up, use a mortar. You got yourself a rock house. Different ways to like get water, fresh water, things like that, or how to set up traps, things like that on how to survive in case something happens. Because, it's important to know these things in case something does. Because if you're just out there, something pops off and, you find yourself in the wilderness not knowing what to do, you're kind of screwed. So if you find yourself in that situation, at least you know how to survive and get by even. Oh, nice. You got soursop as well, Sister Jermaine. Yeah, learn to use Yah's creation to survive. Exactly. For thousands of years, that's what us as people have done. And it's only since modern times, with grocery stores, things like that, they've taken people away from being self-sufficient. Yeah, they took it away on purpose. And it's so, when something does happen, people are going to run to them because they don't know what to do. Yeah, they're weaponized gardening. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. That was the whole plan is to take people away from knowing how to be self-sufficient and become reliant on what they provide. And then, cram everybody in these big old cities super close together so that all you have to do is put up a perimeter around it. And now everybody, millions of people are trapped inside of a city. And you can do whatever. Bomb it, light it on fire, cause chaos. Yeah, and all of us who, know about, gardening or hunting, fishing, camping, things like that, we're already ahead of the game. I remember as a teenager, going on, month-long camping trips. And it was all about you ate what you hunted, things like that. But yeah, I made a tab for all that, so feel free to check it out. I didn't really have a layout for today to go over anything. We're just gonna let the Ruach take it, and it has. So apologies if it's quiet here and there.
I'm writing that paragraph quick for Katrina.
Oh, nice.
Does anyone else have
Yeah.
any questions on the calendar or want to talk about it or any like aha moments that you have with it or Gina, how are you doing on it? You said you got it.
Yeah, I do get it. And I'm just absorbing everything. And I agree. It's amazing. I really don't know any of you, but Yah has had me on the same page for many years. But now we've got one step closer to getting on the right track.
Absolutely. And yeah, Richard, yeah, that's it. That's what we were speaking about a little bit earlier, because she's using Enoch 82, and she was saying those two leaders have to do with the two divider days. But actually, we found out Enoch 82 is actually incomplete, and that's only two of the four seasonal divider day leaders. And we found that out because the Dead Sea Scrolls Book of Enoch has the verses after uh, Enoch 82:20, and it says these are the verses after, and it goes into the other two seasons as well. Yeah, absolutely. No, we tried to go with that, bring that to Sister Aaron's attention, and got bashed for it, but it's all right.
So Robert asks, are you able to present your measurements of what you're attempting to describe here, or is this just hearsay evidence? Oh, well, Robert, Marissa's going to create a smackdown on you.
I don't know what you think. I just shared that paragraph with you. I don't know if that'll do it, but there it is.
What we witness with modern day counting is just 1 day off plus some hours. This leads us to believe that Enoch began his counting at 0, because otherwise, if not, then he would be wrong. And we know that he is not, because Scripture is the way, the truth, the life. The lunar count witnesses to the solar count. When Enoch says there's 364 days in a solar year, there is only when we begin counting the solar year from 0.
And I'll change that to that is true only when. There you go. That is true only, yeah, when the lunar count witnesses to the solar count. When Enoch says there is 364 days in a solar year, that is true only when we begin counting the solar year from 0.
Well, when Enoch says there are 364 days in a solar year, but doesn't Enoch, but in a solar year it's 365 though, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Enoch is only telling the truth if you begin counting from 0, because if you count from 1, like we do in modern time, you'll see 365 and a quarter days. If you count from 0, you'll see 364.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I wrote made sense.
So should I put that before the other stuff, and then I have
Yeah,
that?
I'd put it right at the end.
Oh,
Yeah, it would be good right at the end to just kind of like tie it all in. They need to like look at the count, and that's really interesting too, because it's really like 364.24, if you start counting from 0, and then he says 354 days for the lunar cycle, and it's 354 point however many hours, because it's some, plus some hours, there's change.
so fix this beginning verse or not verse, first sentence for me. Where I say this verse is comparing the solar and lunar cycles. So let's see, same moon falling behind. So what should I change that to start it, head it?
Yeah, can you say that again? Because I was talking to Bobby.
That verse is comparing the solar and lunar cycles. So let's see. Same moon falling behind.
No, I thought that was great because you added that. I thought that was perfect because it's like kind of explaining, like,
Wait,
here's the lunar cycles. That was
Enoch
perfect.
74:14.
Huh?
Enoch 74:14.
Hold on. Oh, at the beginning. Hold on. That
Yeah,
verse. Yeah, that was Enoch 74:14.
is comparing the solar and lunar
Oh,
cycles.
right. Yeah. Well, it's talking about the lunar cycle right there. Um, but yeah. And above that or below that, I can't remember if it's before or after, but then it talks about how many days are in the solar year. Like all of this whole part in Enoch 74 is he's comparing them, the solar and the lunar cycles, where he's like, in the solar year, it's this many days, but then in the lunar year alone, it's this many days, and the moon falls behind this many days. It's kind of like, he says that the moon falls 10 days behind, but that's not true. Remember when I put that together too, and it fell 11.25 days behind in 1 year?
Yeah.
Right, right. So it's not 10 days. It's because it begins from 0. So 0 to 10 is still 10 days. But with our modern day counting, it's 11. You know what I mean? It just depends on where you start. And if you don't start at 0, then you're going to be calling Enoch a liar. And that's a bad place to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And then people will try to, explain it away. Well, Enoch 80, right? Where it's like, oh, the things will be off, blah, blah, blah. Because they can't wrap their head around it. But, like, you just need to believe what is laid out before you. And
So
we got to, like, restructure the way that we think and count.
It's really that easy, honestly.
Like, literally, here's another example. I went into time, I went on, I think it's on Time and Date, but it has, like, this little tool where you can add days. And if you're like, okay, so begin on March 20th, add days, it'll count the next day as 1, and then 2, 3, 4. But it's like, but I said to count from March 20th. Why does it do that? It's like when we say, well, we begin our year on the equinox, but then 3 days later is the Sabbath, because which is number 1? When you're counting from the 20th, you're like, okay, so 21, that's 1. It's the same. How about 20? What's the first number in the 20s? Is it 21 or is it 20? There's a 0 for a reason. So people just, I don't know, like they can't seem to wrap their head around that. And until they do, they'll continue to deny the presence of this 0 in the calendar. And honestly, it's like saying Enoch's wrong, or it's not right what we can visually see today, or times have changed. They start trying to explain away, and they lean on their own understanding by doing that.
Yeah.
So we need to believe what is. He's the same yesterday as he is today, as he will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they do. It's just a bunch of speculation that, well, the calendar or what we experience today isn't the same as it was, and Joshua's long day had an effect, or the sundial moving backwards had an effect, and this, that, and another thing. And it's like, actually, no, none of those had an effect on what we experience, and we experience the same today as they did back then, because it all lines up with starting at 0.
Yeah. It just takes like a whole lot of humbling yourself and dying to your flesh. We gotta crucify our flesh too and say, no, you don't have it right. Yah has it right.
Exactly.
It's like unlearn the lies. You know, so many people in the Torah movement, that's what it was, right? We all have that big wake-up call, and you're like, oh gosh, I've been so lied to, you know, and you find out the truth of the world, and, you know, just, it can go anywhere from, like, the New World Order, the Masons, you know, the Freemasons. It can, honestly, it can be so many different things that you learn the truth from, and then you find out the truth about Christmas and like pagan ways, pagan days, you know, and then, or the truth about the shape of the earth. You know, it's all these different like illusions that we're under. It's all this deception that we're under, and the calendar is no different from that. And it's like, you know, are you only willing to walk the narrow path until it gets so like to a certain point, and then you're like, nah, that's getting too narrow for comfort for me. I'm just gonna stay right here.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna continue to follow Yah? Are you gonna put one foot literally in front of the other and walk that tightrope with him and be set apart as he's calling us to be? This is a hard walk. It's even harder when you turn away from a Saturday Sabbath. Do you love him enough to believe that what he's showing you is true? It's a real test.
I have this one saved. I have this one saved from you, and I'm wondering if I should post it because I think that Jason Robb believes in the equilux. But would I be able to send this off to him? I think you're having. I think the trouble you're having is that you're using Enoch 72 for the equilux day when Enoch is speaking about the equinox day.
Yeah.
The equilux varies depending on one's location on the earth, as
Yeah.
the amount of light one would see entirely dependent on how far or close to the sun they are at the time, due to the very real and factual evidence of light refraction and atmospheric lensing.
Yeah.
The
Send that, Katrina. You don't even have to finish it. Send that. That's a great
Well,
explanation.
I think
Yeah.
it's important for us to know, though, too.
Oh, okay. Then
And
finish reading
I
it.
don't know, just to read
I
over.
just said it all earlier, but
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody
So,
new has signed on since earlier.
so we need to remember that Enoch was taken above the, okay. And the other concern I have with you applying Enoch 72 to the equinox is that all your seasonal days will be dislodged from their place. The vernal equinox is the head of the spring and begins the year.
Right.
And
that's
other
true.
supporting evidence is the sun's analemma, and then all your degrees and stuff. And so we know
Yeah.
this is true midpoint for the solar cycle because we can deduce it from the extremes of altitude that the sun rises through each year. The altitude at solar noon, highest point of the sky, is 82 degrees. During the summer solstice, the altitude at solar noon, lowest point in the sky, is 34 degrees in the winter solstice. So the midpoint would be the two numbers is 58 degrees, coinciding with the equinox day. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I forgot about saying some of that earlier.
I say that all.
I mean, but no, like that's good too. And it also, like that analemma witnesses to the placement of that day 31 on the count, that if you don't place day 0 after that 50-second Sabbath, that number 31 will not be bumped up to number 1 like that. So that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jeremy? We talked about that before.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what's the problem with Natalie and Robert citing their equinox on the 19th? Is there a write-up that I have on that one too?
I don't know because that's like just like more recent, but the equinox is a 1.24 day event. So
Hold on. Let me write that down.
yeah, part of the world's going to see it begin, and the date will not have shifted potentially, or these people are honestly just are not, I don't know if they're just like not as experienced in marking this. For any of those that are listening, and if you have not tried to track the equinox with the straight line shadow, it sounds really super simple, but it's actually a little more challenging than you would think. So, like it matters what surface you're doing it on, the color of the surface, the texture of the surface. It matters the size of the tip of the marker or pen that you're using. It also matters the gnomon in the middle, that it's pointed and not like a round top, because the light refraction will make it look like the shadow's extending further than it actually is. And your board has to be big enough to be able to track the longest shadows of the day, which is very early morning and very late evening. Otherwise, if you're not getting all of the dots for the whole day, your data could be misconstrued. And so, like with Natalie, she did not get the data on the 19th, but she got it on the 20th. And I don't know like what was up with her dots, but she's like, no, this is curved. She thought it was curved. But then you have so many other people, even like those in like close proximity to where she is, that was getting it on the 20th. So I don't know if like experience is a factor in doing that. And I'm not faulting her for that, because I did it too. And I didn't feel very confident in my data. But we do know some people who have been doing this for 10 years or more, and they're hitting the 20th all the time. And then Nick Vanderland had a great explanation for that the equinox is longer than 24 hours. That part of the world is going, that 0.24, it's so funny because he did it like a pie chart almost, but it's less than a quarter. So that's why I say that 0.24, it's less than a quarter of the world begins to see it first. And so this is it's a longer event than one day. And so that's why it's like, oh, well, unlike the years that the equinox falls on the 19th, it happens at night. And so that solar noon of the 19th is going to be real close, because it's like just about to go on that line in mere hours, you know. But the true straight line is the next solar noon, because the sun is still riding on the celestial equator for 1.24 days. So,
Okay, could you write all that up for me?
Katrina, you're killing me, Smalls. You voice recorded that, you know. Where's the
It's
talk to
recorded, but I
text?
need to write up.
Sorry if I'm boring anybody here.
No, I love it.
So that's the thing too. So you're going to catch the curve on that, but not in the evening, and it won't be fully straight until the next day.
No, because
Right.
Natalie said, and for us, this year it was supposed to be on March 20th for the Midwest, and for us, it was March 19th. So she did track it.
No, she did not see the 19th. It was too cloudy that day. She wasn't able to track it on the 19th, but she tracked the 20th.
And so the 20th curved?
Yeah. That's
That's
what she
impossible.
thinks. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, there's so many variables to how to track it. So, I don't know how experienced she is, but there are other people in the Midwest that got the 20th. So, Erin Ryan is not that much further from us. She's in Utah and she's in a basin. Natalie has a bunch of trees in her yard. The spot that I was using it was pretty good, like, because it's not like super close. I don't have trees like, you know, like embarging. I don't know the word for that, like coming on top of me or anything. But I'm also not in a basin in Utah. So Aaron's got like the prime spot for that.
Jason just said you're relying on your own understanding or someone else's understanding for your day zero, and not what the word actually says. After I
Well,
gave him Enoch 74 right up.
that's funny. That's the same copy and paste response he always gives. He told that to me. He told that to you. Now he said it again. No, it's not our own understanding. It's literally written in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think it's just, people, they don't want to be proven wrong. And Jason Robb is one of those people. But when it comes down to it, he won't address anything. He'll refuse to come and reason together through scriptures. Uh, You know, a lot of the times, these people, they don't have any evidence or facts or anything to back up what they're saying or a reason why they would disagree. To basically sum up exactly what they say, they just say nope. And it's like, okay, well, that's sure you can disagree, but what evidence do you have for that reason? They usually can't bring any, or it's just some opinion like, oh, you're going off someone else's opinion. Okay, then what's wrong about it? We've shown you all the evidence. It's tough trying to reach people. And yeah, like, that coming out of the lies, we did that with churchianity. We come out of the lies and we're like, oh, wow, look at this. That shouldn't stop when you find the Torah movement. You need to keep coming out of those lies. And I remember, back in, it was like 2016, 2017, when Yahuah first opened my eyes, and I started finding other, Torah observant people, and we were all just coming together because we came out of that truth. And I didn't hear about any of these other crazy doctrines that we see run wild nowadays. But there was really no anti-Paul movement. There was no thing about the calendar, nothing like that. It was just all about Torah. And then all of a sudden, these different groups they come up with different calendars or anti-Paul doctrine or anti-festival doctrines now, and you name it, it's out there now, and it's really wild. Or they'll have a bunch of New Age and Gnosticism mixed in with everything. It's really become pretty crazy out there. And no wonder that verse, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, because literally it's everywhere. False doctrines, demons, wolves, vipers, the ones who come in sheep's clothing. I don't think any of us can do it without Yahuah, truly. Yeah, the enemy fights hard against those who, stand for Yahuah's truth. And some people, he allows to be blinded for one reason or another. Like a lot of these folks,
Isn't
like
it
Jason.
Isn't
Oh,
it
go ahead.
crazy that you have Robert Villa and Jason Robb not doing the same calendar, right? At all, because Jason denies the equinox, but yet they're but instead of that, they're ganging up on us, on me,
See,
in
that's the
this
thing.
thread. Like, do you see that they
Yeah,
don't agree at
yeah,
all on the start of the year,
yeah.
and that they're still coming against me in this thread?
And
Isn't
that's the
that
whole
weird
thing.
how that
It
happens?
really is. Like, why is it only us?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jason Robb follows the equal lux, the equal day and equal night. Robert, I don't even want to say he follows the equinox because he actually follows the moon. But they both move it to the closest Wednesday to either one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they add a week every so many years.
But they get along because you guys moved the
Yeah,
sun signs to a
yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. They both hold that Saturday Sabbath, so they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're doing that, so that's
They
cool.
have that in common. Eesh.
Well, that's the funny thing. We do have all these things in common. Like, they know the importance of Zadok. They know what the Dead Sea Scrolls are. They know the history.
They're still on Team Darkness.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's right. Yep.
You know, and you would think going to like lunar Sabbatarians, it would be easier to explain to them. No, it's even worse, honestly. It's like, look, we don't hold to the Saturday Sabbath. Like, yeah, but you're doing the solar and da da da. You know, that's why Messiah always says, you know, you'll be hated for his name's sake. Because when you speak the truth, people don't want to hear the truth. And, you know, just like when you talk to people about how the Torah is not done away with, it's not abolished, it still applies to us today. You know, they want to
So
hate you for it.
Enoch was taken to Yahuwah's position above atmospheric lensing and distortion. So he saw equal day, equal night. The day before the Tekufa,
Yeah, exactly.
he is also speaking, but I thought
No,
that doesn't sound right.
no. Take that out. The
No.
day before the Takufa.
What is that?
What do you mean? Take that out.
Okay.
Because Enoch's talking about the solar cycle only, which also begins with a 0, which is the equinox.
I'm reading what I had. I don't know who wrote this up. So he saw equal day, equal night. He is also speaking about the solar cycle. Jubilees is describing the weekly, yearly cycle. Here on earth, we see equal day, equal night in Jerusalem on the divider day because of the distortion in atmospheric lensing. This is why the equilux varies depending on location. We start our count at 0, like Yahuwah did in Genesis 1, verse 2. Yeah. So wait, is this right? Enoch was taken to the above atmospheric lensing and distortion, so he saw equal day, equal night. He is also speaking about the solar cycle.
He's speaking about the solar cycle.
Yeah, he's speaking about the solar cycle.
The counting of months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say he's speaking about the solar cycle.
It's tough for people to understand the two cycles going on. Well, for the most part, it's hard for people to grasp that concept. Yeah, because the weekly cycle, that's going to hold our Sabbath day. And then the solar cycle is going to hold our festival days and the months. And yeah, if anybody has anything they want to add or any questions, feel free to jump on in.
It really does come down to a heart issue. I think, how we're talking about how come some people just don't get it, or they just want to fight until they're blue in the face. It's a pride, it's a heart issue. And when we first heard about it, we, you rattle off your first answers that are the narrative. Oh, no, but Saturday is always the Sabbath because the Jews, and because, 6 days work, rest one, and all those normal answers that have been placed out there for us to gobble up and spit back out. So, we did that for a little while, just a little while, but it was like, but hang on, stop. And let's just look at this. There's a big possibility because we've been fed so many lies. So, it could be a big possibility. We didn't want to fight for it. We wanted to know the truth. And the Father knows the heart. And when you just stop and just go, Father, please show me your truth because I don't want to be wrong. I want to be on your team. And then that's when people can be shown. But these people who are arguing against it all the time, there's got to be a heart issue. It's got to be a pride. One day it might break, but some people have been made as the pot that they've been made to be. Just like Pharaoh, everyone's got a part in this big Hunger Games series,
Well, it's
But
funny
yeah,
because I don't call it all off as a loss because what these gentlemen are doing is just making us work harder. So it's not really quite a
exactly.
loss. They're actually doing the will of the Father, just like Pharaoh was doing the will of the Father.
Yeah.
Just like, Nick, they're all in their like little prideful mindset, but they're actually causing us to work harder. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and then more people will see that there are answers. It's not just get shut down by the narrative. There are answers, and those who want to hear and see will. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, so count it all joy.
It's about like sorry, welcome. I haven't been here for a while, but hi. The Father's been showing me about love. I was talking about that with Jermaine the other day, and yeah, it's about love. Sorry, I just had a phone call coming in, but yeah, we need to where it says in the scriptures about the love of many will be growing cold, and I've thought about that, and also, if love covers a multitude of sin, and if we don't have love, we're just a clanging cymbal. And yeah, I suppose if you've got bitterness in your heart, if you've got a hard heart, prideful heart, bitter root of unforgiveness, whatever, you're not going to have that love, and then you're not going to be open to anything either. And yeah, I suppose you just want to have a fight about things, and same with the calendar. Yeah, so anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I just think in these last days, we need to be loving one another. I mean, and love is also correction. I'm not just saying this, Christianity type love where you just forget about everything, but no, it's about correction as well. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Because sometimes we need that correction. And, if somebody, it's like that blood will be on your hands if you don't at least try to help correct somebody. And that doesn't mean like bashing them on the head. It's just in a loving way, like, hey, I see where you could be wrong here. Let's reason together through scriptures. So that way, you're not in error or I'm not in error. And then, that way the blood is not on either one of our hands. So if we're doing something incorrectly, we would want to be told that if we're truly out for truth and doing what's right, according to Yahuah. But yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, it all comes down to the heart. Like I started out saying, it's the heart issue. And so, yeah, people out there can just shut down their heart. They can shut it down and be rude about it because of their pride. Yeah, it's all a heart issue. The whole lot, everything, the whole of the matter. It's all about the heart. And that's Father only judges the heart, but he also judges what we do. And it's because of our heart as to what we do. So, yeah, sorry, I'm making breakfast and I'm just listening in the background. Instead of typing, I thought I'd just say something.
No worries. Thank you, sister. We appreciate all your input. And yeah, it's very true. It's a heart issue. Absolutely.
And as we know, the heart can be deceitfully wicked, above all things. And who can know it? And yeah, I suppose we're seeing that playing out now too. Like where are people's hearts truly? Just like in the Garden of Eden, Yah didn't have to create a tree that they weren't allowed to eat of, but he'd done that to see where their hearts were. Do you really truly love me? And are you going to be obedient? And are you going to eat off it or are you not? And it's the same today. If do you truly love me? Do you want to keep my commandments because you love me? You don't want to have that pork chop because I've said not to, or that shrimp, whatever it may be. And, yeah. And, I'm staying here in New Zealand at the moment with family and, they're in the Reformed denomination, Christianity. And, I think they've got 6 kids, they're older kids. But they're particularly the boys are really questioning. 2 of the girls are totally off the rails, but the boys seem to be questioning their faith, and am I really a believer, and blah blah blah. And I've spoken to them, and then obviously their dad doesn't agree with everything I say, because I'm that crazy freaking Torah person that keeps the feasts and eats clean and keeps the Sabbath, etc. But talking to my sister, who seems to be open, but she then says to me, but I'm not going to do anything unless my husband does, and I said, well, what about the scripture that talks about if you love husband, wife, daughter, son, whatever, more than me, you're not worthy of me. He goes, oh, well, it will just be a test, if he comes on board, then it's meant to be. But I just shake my head. But anyway, it's and typical, they're Dutch. Dutch can be quite prideful and arrogant, and then, you know, you throw in the Reformed denomination on top of that, and they can be quite prideful and arrogant as well. And, you know, you've got the perfect storm of, you know, I've been believing this for my whole life, I'm not going to change, you know. And so, yeah, it comes down to the heart. Is your heart soft and moldable, and are we willing to be told that we could be wrong, and then, you know, be like the Berean and search it out? But yeah, back to the love of many will grow cold. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And, you know, I was thinking about that because, you know, when the children start to question things and then you don't have the answers, that's what kind of causes that falling away. Because I had the same questions and no answers. But I was thinking about that, and my son Alan, he always comes with questions about something like that, and I have the answers, and I'm able to answer and point it right back to Yahuah and be like, see, this is why, you know, we need to follow his word. And so I think that strengthens him versus, you know, oh, he can't answer it, so now is this even true?
Yeah,
Rather,
and
he
that's
says, oh
sorry, and
yeah,
that's exactly what's happened. That's exactly what's happened here with the sorry to cut in. That's exactly what's happened there with two of their daughters. So one daughter's gone off the rails, the other one has as well, and she's kind of a bisexual, and she's had a female partner, you know, lesbian relationship. I remember being here a couple of years ago and just saying, well, you know, to both their parents, you know, my sister and brother-in-law, that, well, at the end of the day, if she was to come, you know, if she was here, I'd say, well, you know, you're justified, because I mean, it says that eating pig's an abomination, and you're quite happy to eat pig, so why can't she be a lesbian, you know? And but yeah, they don't think about it, they don't question it, they don't think, oh, you know, like, yeah, he's got a point there. It's just hard, and they don't want to know anything about it. But yeah.
yeah, no, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a good example because, you know, you read in the scriptures like, hey, look, we're not supposed to be eating pig. It's an abomination. And then, you know, your son or daughter's coming up to you. Well, how come it says it's bad in the Bible, but you're over here eating it? And then your answer is, oh, well, that's just the way it is. That that's not very solid, and it's basically dismissive and showing like, hey, look, we don't have to listen to what's written. We just do whatever we feel is right.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the questions they had and couldn't be answered were predestination. You know, the Reformed denomination believes in predestination, and that basically you have no choice, which is what a load of crock that is. And obviously, the Reformed people believe that their Reformed denomination is very Calvinistic. You know, the Nicene Creed and the Apostles' Creed and the Catechism, etc., etc. They follow all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, they had no answers for their kids. You know, when they asked, you know, it didn't make sense. He even talked to me about it, and I even said to him, I said, that doesn't make sense. It's contradictory. But yeah, they obviously believe that they're the chosen frozen, and that, yeah, they're part of this 144,000, and which is just absolutely ridiculous. And I messaged my sister early this morning and just said, you know, like, it was Noah and his family that got saved. That was it, you know. And then two, after walking 40 years in the wilderness, there were two that was able to enter. And I'm just thinking, why would you even think that we are even going to enter in the kingdom if that's how, you know, sparse it is, the people that are going to be saved? Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, no, a lot of these religions, they all claim that, you know, they're the only ones that are part of the 144,000. And it's like, well, you guys are saying the law's done away with. You're worshiping on a Sunday, and then you're going to have, you know, a pork chop right afterwards. So
yeah,
that's
right.
not. Yeah, That's not, obeying scriptures or what he's saying. That's just doing what you feel is right.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's just incredible, really, where we've come to. Yeah, it's pretty sad, really. And I also mentioned Jeremiah, 31, regarding, if he's going to be writing his Torah on our hearts and minds, and why would that be done away with if he's going to be doing that, and yeah,
I
it's
used to
just
ask
hard to
that a
see
lot.
firmly.
Yeah. Why would
What
he
was
put
that?
an why would he put an abolished law in our hearts? I used to ask that a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like even Romans, their precious New Testament, it says in Romans 9:27, and Yahuah cries out on behalf of Yisrael through the number of though the number of the children of Yisrael be as the sand of the sea, the remnant will be saved. It's only a remnant that will be saved. And sitting in their lounge room talking about it, there was how many? 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six of us all together. Me being the odd one out, and it's like, I'm not saying that I'm the only saved one, because I don't know the heart, but wide is the way that leads to destruction, and narrow the road, and few find it. So I mean, with me being the odd one out, keeping this silly Torah that they think, it just kind of puts things in perspective as to how wide is the road that you're on. How many people are actually doing this, doing your walk. But yeah, I can only say so much. I don't want to be, well,
No
I
worries.
suppose,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because, none of these religions actually preach or teach the truth. It's all twisted, from Christianity to Judaism, whatever religion. It's just all twisted up. And none of them have the truth. The synagogue of Hasatan, they deny Messiah. They don't even put his Torah above anything. Like, they have their Talmud and they put that above everything. The churchianity, Christians and all that, they deny the Torah, but they accept, well, I wouldn't even say they accept Messiah, because they don't even know who he is. They just, all you got to do is believe and you're saved. Don't worry about what you do, or that law. That's the law of sin and death. You don't got to worry about that no more. And when you think about it, they're actually denying the same thing, because Messiah is the living Torah.
exactly. Yep,
So either
exactly.
way you look
And
at
yeah, yeah. And even too, I've asked the question, what makes you set apart and peculiar in this day and age? And they can't even answer that, and then I ask about, because they believe in infant baptism, and I said, well, where's that in the scriptures? From when I first started in this walk back in the end of 2015, that topic came up, and I've asked the question, where is it in the scriptures? And even going to my minister at the time, he couldn't even answer the question. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are taught that are traditions of men, but aren't actually the truth, and like no one's willing to stop and say, hang on a minute, why are we doing these things? And yeah, but anyway, it comes ultimately down to the heart. Where is your heart? And it's about a relationship with Yahuah, and whether you love him or not.
and it's always about being willing to change our thought process to fit his thought process. So, like, for example, when I first was woken up, everyone was like, oh, we'll just follow what the Jews do. They've been doing it for years.
Yep.
But then you start looking into that more, and you're like, wait, they don't actually follow the truth. So So then you got to change your thinking. Or same thing coming out of Christianity. You know, oh, the law's done away with. That's not for us. Well, actually, it is. So then you got to change your way of thinking. And I don't think that should ever stop. Like, we should never stop that process. Like, none of us should ever stop it and be like, oh, well, you know, we have all this information, so I don't got to look any further and just stop right there. Well, I think that's going to be where the lukewarm comes in. And, you know, because then you're not looking any further. You're just comfortable in where you're at. And I think that's where a lot of these other people come from that, you know, they like to fight and argue about things. You know, they're just comfortable where they're at. They've only looked as far as to prove what they think is right, and that's about it. I think that's a big problem, like everywhere, really. And especially about, you know, certain topics like the calendar, especially. You know, things like remarriage, adultery, things like that. And these are a lot of subjects people don't touch on a lot. And it's because people call them, oh, they're so divisive and this and that. Well, it's not really divisive. It's, you know, what is our foundation?
Seeking truth.
Yeah, exactly. So if the truth is meant to divide, if you don't want the truth, it's going to divide you from the truth. So that's the divisive part about it. And I think all this stuff can be spoken, you know, just reasoning together through scriptures without all the hate and the I'm right, you're wrong kind of stuff. But it's the world we live in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Comes back to the love of many will grow cold, and that's why they get nasty.
Yeah, it does. So goes right back to that. Very true.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why.
And then
you know, that verse. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, and that's why the
Or there's that.
I kind of forgot. Yeah, go. Sorry, I've forgotten now what I was going to say. Are you going? Are you talking, Jeremy?
Sorry. Somehow my microphone muted. I didn't touch it. But that's you know, few are chosen and even fewer make it. And it just shows how narrow the path is, and you know, it's going to separate those who are chosen, who will just, you know, stop at their comfortable or comfort level, and those who actually keep going and digging. It goes right along with, you know, it's for kings to search out the matter, and I think that's, you know, who Yahuah is looking for. Those of us who are willing to actually. Oh, sorry, my phone is my phone's getting overheated is a problem, I think. Are you guys able to hear me?
You
Yeah, I
sound a
can hear you.
little far off, but that's it.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably my phone just overheating. It does that when we were on for hours. But yeah, the path is very narrow, and we just have to keep searching and digging, and we can never say, you know, we have all the answers, because we don't. There's always more answers we can search and find.
Yep, that's right.
I don't think any of us are going to get everything completely right. You know, I think he'll sit us down and say, well, you were right in this area, but boy, you were totally wrong in this one. I remember reading the book of Sirach. I think there's different levels in the kingdom. It's pretty obvious. It's just like the meek, they will inherit the earth. Those who get persecuted for righteousness' sake, there's just the kingdom of the Shemayim. So there is different levels. And he said, because you were faithful with little, I'll make you rule over the 3 cities, 5 cities, whatever. But he said, if you cast my Torah behind your back, I will reject you as being priest unto me. So there's a difference between priest. There's a difference between, I mean, there's different priests. We got Merari, we got Kohath, and they all had a different function to function in. But the children of Israel wasn't priests. They could be priests if they would be faithful and do this and that. But I do think there's different levels in the kingdom. I do.
Yeah.
And he said they're going to come and they're going to build the waste places. And that's why Yehudah rejected the Messiah. So he said, I'm going to turn to the house of Yisrael. And they're going to be the ones that build the house. And that's what we're doing. We're helping build the house. But to say we're going to get it all right, we better be careful, because it's just like passing judgment on someone else. The only one that can judge is the one that is without sin. Totally without sin. That's why
Hallelujah.
he's the only one that can judge righteously, because there's things that we're doing. That's why I don't like to point the finger at anybody, because there's things that manipulate. I'll never judge a person. I don't want. Now, I will look at that thing that's behind it, and that's the thing I've got to deal with, is what's behind them. They don't even know they're being manipulated or used. They have no idea sometimes, and neither do we sometimes. And we just got to be real careful, because if we start accusing the brethren, then we are an accuser of the brethren. And the enemy would love to pit us against one another instead of seeing the real problem behind them. It's like, I'm sure when he cast out those demons out of that guy, he was a totally different person, you know? And a lot of people say, well, that can't influence me. Yeah, they can. If we open a door and they get in through jealousy, through anger, through pride, through any one of those. And sometimes we don't realize that we have that until he shines a light on it. And it comes to the surface and we go, oh no, I can't believe I did that. So I think we need to be very careful in saying certain things, because yes, because of this. And even in the book of Sirach, he said, we talk about these works and that works that Yah created, and still we come short of knowing and understanding. Of course.
And that's when grace comes in.
You bet. You bet.
I mean, even Matthew talks about it.
Oh,
yeah,
you bet.
Even Matthew talks about it, you know, that if you speak against my Torah, you'll be least in the kingdom. So, you know, it's even there.
Oh, yeah. Agree. And like he says, he said, if you cast my Torah behind your back, I reject you as being priest unto me. Now, there's a difference between Zadokite and, Kohath, and then different priests with different functions. It's just like one of the priests could not go in there and look at the ark. They couldn't do that because that wasn't their job. So when one priest tries to take someone else, a different priest's job, and that's coveting his gift that's been given to him, just like they coveted, Korah coveted Moshe's position, then things start happening. We just have to do what he's called us to do. And some are called to do the calendar, and some are called to do this, and some are called to do that. And we can't say the hand and the foot, I don't need you, because all functions are functioning to bring a total body together. So I just think we just really need to be careful how we word things, what we say. And sometimes we say, well, Yah says this, and Yah, we got to be careful, because if we say he said that, because to have discernment is that's one thing everybody's going to need in these last days, because you got three different voices speaking. You got Yah, you got yours, and you got Hasatan, and we better know the difference. Because sometimes it can be us, and we can think it's Father doing something, but it's not. It's very deceptive. The enemy's slick. He knows the Torah. He knows certain things. And, we just got to be careful and
And
not
that's
take it
why,
out on a person, because they don't
yeah,
understand this and they don't understand that. He will strip us of our understanding when we do that eventually.
no, I agree. And, I agree absolutely. And, you know, to the people who think, oh, these things won't affect me, or,
Oh,
I'll never
yeah,
be, that type of stuff's never going to happen to me. Well, you
yeah,
better bear up, because it's going to happen to you if you're thinking like that. And,
you bet. It's like people that
there's
say,
people,
look, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, there's people that go around the teaching, once you believe and you're saved, you can never be affected by demons. So don't ever worry about it.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
right from the
false.
enemy. Yeah, that's from the enemy himself. That's going to allow those doors to open up.
You bet.
You get even more attacked. You get even more attacked when you come to Yah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, precisely.
sure,
And
sure.
yeah,
They want to make you ineffective to where you can't do anything,
that's it.
or bring the rest of the people in. That's for sure. But there are different levels, like we talked about earlier, 30, 60, 100 fold. Yeah, there's different levels. And I just think that Zadokite level, and I read that community scroll, and I'm going, oh, gosh, I can't touch them guys. And that's in the Holy of Holies.
And to think, look how strict those guys were, and they were adhering to Yahuwah and what he was saying. We
Yes,
can't even
bro.
hold a threat to that stuff. And
Oh,
to
yeah.
think that, we're going to be some kind of higher ups in the kingdom, and we don't even know what's going on. Like, yeah, but
Agree.
we have to remember there are different levels, because there's other nations in that renewed heaven and earth.
Yes,
And what you said made me think about it, because like there's different levels of heaven
yes.
where certain angels are, and they can't go above or below where they're at. And I think it would
Of
be the
course.
same for us, like
Yes,
depending.
one angel speak, or one angel says something and he sings a tune, and the other one sings to the next angel, and it just goes up and up and up until it reaches the Father. So yeah, one angel can't ascend above another angel because they have an order too, just like priests do. Okay, they have an order too. They can't do what the Kohaths do, or Merari can't. Uh, do what they do, and all the other priests have different functions. Just stick with your function, what y'all's called you to do, and stick with that. Just like he's called you to do calendar, search it out, and certain things. But I've heard many people say, well, it's all about the calendar. And I know people that have just sit and just study that, but they forget about the weightier matters of the Torah. They do. I've seen it
No,
happen.
I know. Hey, a lot of people think that about us, and that's not what we think. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we know the calendar is very important.
Agree.
It is foundational. But we
Agree.
do know that it works in correlation with everything else.
Sure.
One's not above the other, things like that.
Sure. Yes.
So we don't push like, oh, if you don't get the calendar, this, that, and another thing, which
Sure.
is kind of what I was going to address, because it does say, those who speak against the Torah are going to be least in the kingdom.
Yes.
Uh,
That's right. He's going to
I think,
reject him from being preached unto him. Yes.
yeah, so they're going to be not necessarily thrown in the lake of fire, but it still says they're going to be in the kingdom, just in a lesser position.
Sure.
So
Agreed.
maybe that's why that would explain better why, some of these, Christian people, they have these, prophetic dreams or visions that are,
Yeah.
actually true, but then,
Sure. I don't
it,
put them or cast them away because
yeah, yeah,
of certain things, because if we do that, we're going against him, because we know that Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy. So he's giving them certain things to do, even though it's not what we're doing, or, you know, um, they might not be doing calendar, might not understand that, and they're just not to that level yet. And he's giving everybody an opportunity to grow, but we might not grow to the fullness either. I hope we do. That's what we're striving for. We're striving for Zadok level. That's what we're striving for. That holy of holies. But those men that studied out in Qumran, I mean, they took kids in and taught them from a young age. We weren't taught from a young age like that. Um, from their mother's womb, they was taught Torah. They were taught that. They've got an advantage. And because we've got the most pagan language in the world, and there's certain things in Hebrew that you just can't translate to English, and we think it's one thing and it's not. So we're going to be wrong there, reading certain things out of the scriptures. And I know this because what they've done to us, the enemy's done a lot. We don't realize what he's done. But we're
Yeah,
all
Lee.
growing. Huh?
Sorry, Lee. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So when you were talking about the language, it does
Yeah.
talk about that there are angels of presence that
Uh-huh.
know how to interpret what we're saying and kind of like re reword it to then bring to Yah so that it's not an abomination. I
Uh-huh.
believe it talks
Sure.
about that in the book of Enoch.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
He,
because
he he knows we're reaching the people that do know English. You know, he's, even though it's a real distorted language, and it is, um, we're still reaching people that do know English. Just like I can't reach a person in Mexico. I don't know Spanish. Unless they understand in their words, how will they understand? They won't. So yes, I do agree with that.
yeah, I just think it's great that he does know to cover all bases. So there are
Sure.
angels that can take what we say,
Mm-hmm.
especially in prayer, and turn it into something that would be suitable for Yah's ears.
Agree.
Um, yeah, because yeah,
Agree.
I do wish sometimes that the words that I say, um, because our language is really screwed up. It's not even as beautiful as Old English, right? It's been so what's the word?
Distorted.
Just right, like I mean, I blame texting honestly, because people don't even know how to punctuate properly anymore. Um, but all the abbreviations and
Uh-huh.
everything has gotten absolutely ridiculous.
Uh-huh. Sure. And like when we say gospel, it's a spell, you know. And when people say I'm going to go out and preach the gospel, well, it's a spell. Now they don't realize what they're saying. So Father's very merciful. He's not holding that over their head because they don't know. Just like Proverbs says, when when they come before him, he says, but we did not know. Will he not consider it? Yes, he will, because he's a righteous judge. They didn't know. To him that knows a sin, a sin. Okay, so
And that's why I say,
we're held more accountable because of what we know. And that's how we
yeah,
will be judged, because we do know. They don't know.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Agreed.
And that's
Yeah.
why we cannot judge people's salvation.
Correct.
We can warn them according to Torah and what we know,
Correct.
but we cannot judge them and say, oh, you're going to hell. Well, no, that's not for us.
No.
But we
Correct.
can judge them using
Yeah,
righteous
yeah.
judgment.
Yeah, righteous
Well, yeah,
judgment. Yeah.
Yes.
What is right
So
and what
that's
is wrong.
according to Torah. So
Correct.
we
exactly.
can judge people and by loving them try to help and correct
Sure.
them.
You bet.
But we can't, just like with Jason and Robert right now, I'm not going to judge their salvation. I'm praying for them to see for the
Sure.
unity.
Sure.
I'm not sitting here and saying, oh, there's no hope for them.
No.
Had I
No.
believed that, I wouldn't have taken the time to help them using what we have found and,
Sure.
going through that. But yeah, we don't judge people's
No, I'm not pointing
salvation.
a finger at anybody.
Right.
I was just commenting on what the guy was saying earlier. Everett. I was just commenting on some things that he was saying. But yeah, some people just
Yeah,
don't know certain things, and we just gotta allow people to grow. And the more they study, the more they'll grow.
There's only one judge, and that's Yahuah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's the only one that can judge righteously because he knows how to do judgment perfectly because he's without sin. Like
And
Yeshua
because he
said.
could read our hearts,
Uh-huh.
whereas we don't know our own heart.
Correct. Very true. Yes. We
Yeah,
don't know what's
exactly.
in there.
Yep.
We don't know what's in there till he
He
brings it to the surface.
exactly. He's the only one that knows our hearts.
Yes. That's right. And everybody's
yeah,
trying. Everybody's trying to see this and trying to see that. And according to their studies, he might sit us all day down and say, you know what? You were right here, but you sure was wrong here. And we thought we were right there. You know what I mean? So, anyway.
that's why I was thinking, that's why all these, Christians and things like that,
Yeah.
they'll be given like a dream or something, shown something, and it
Uh-huh.
happens to be right, but
You
they're
bet.
wrong about like all this other stuff. It
Uh-huh. Sure. You
just
bet.
makes me think because there's levels of understanding as well.
Yes.
Like there's that, beginner level where, you just learn about the Messiah and,
Uh-huh.
they call him the J name and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's where you start out, and
Sure.
then it
You
works
bet.
its way up from there,
Yes.
is how I see it.
You
And
bet.
maybe that's why these different people are at these different levels, because they're there to reach these certain people.
You
So
bet.
then those certain people can then grow past that and figure even more out.
Yes.
That's kind
Yes.
of how it worked for me anyway,
No, I agree. I
because there
agree
was the
with
whole, there was the first, they bring them up and they talk about the history and this and that, and you're like,
you.
interesting. Then you look deeper into it.
Sure.
Then you start checking out these different denominations, and of course, they're all saying this, that, or another thing, but it's still like a beginning place for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like somebody studying the flat earth and or history or whatever subject it is that Father's getting them to reach out to build his kingdom. Then they're focused on that subject to do that. But sometimes people do that and we leave other things undone. Just like he said, do the things, uh, do the main ones. And then don't leave the other things undone. So he's not saying leave the other things undone. Don't leave the other things undone. But sometimes we focus on minor instead of major.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, there's my 1 cent. But we all need to stay focused. Yeah. And calendar
I
is
just,
important.
yeah,
I agree.
100%, Lee, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered. I don't know where it is exactly, but it talks about. I think it says I'd rather be a doorman in Yah's kingdom. I don't know where that is. Can you guys remember where that is?
What is that now?
Being a
Say that again.
doorman and
Oh, that's where
Yeah,
David says, I would rather, I think it's David. It says, I'd rather be a greeter at the door or whatever in the kingdom than to be outside of it, of course. Me and Jeremy were talking about that
yeah,
earlier. I'd rather be washing his gates than be inside than, begging
yeah,
to come in, And
exactly.
he chooses.
that's right.
It's like the two Keefa and all of them saying, they're wanting this certain position. He said, you don't know what you ask. It's not mine to give. No, it's not. We're fighting who's going to get the best seat in the kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like, my goodness.
I feel I would just rather be a doorman or a toilet cleaner.
Well, I'd rather be in the Holy of Holies with him. Of course. I mean, we're all striving for that to get to that point.
Of course.
You bet. I don't want just to be inside the gate. I don't. I want the best of the kingdom.
Run the race to obtain the prize, and
Yeah.
to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
You bet. And to be in our Father's house with Him is the goal.
Hallelujah.
You bet.
Yahuah. It'll be awesome. A lot of interesting stuff, very good points. And there's the greatest in the kingdom, there's the least in the kingdom, there's the lake of fire as well.
Of
So
course.
if you really messed up, if you really messed up and did bad,
Yes.
that's where that lake of fire is. And unfortunately, that's where I believe these, elitists that are, ruling the earth today, and even the ones in the past, that's their destination.
Yes.
I think so, because these horrendous
there's
acts that they've done.
there's 7 levels down into the pit, and there's 7 levels up too in the kingdom. So there's the
Where
wicked.
in the scriptures?
What's that?
Oh, sorry. Where in the scriptures does it talk about the different levels of heaven in that? Is there a specific
It's
place where it
in
talks
one
about
of the
that?
apocryphal books, and I can't think of it off the top of my head at this point. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, so I'm kind of half
If,
asleep.
if, you, if anyone knows, can they flick it through to me? Can they flick it through to me, please?
Yeah, I sure can.
Yeah, it's
I'll try to find
I
that
know
for you.
they're actually
I think it might be in
w-
Enoch. The
yeah,
seven
it's
levels that you're
actually
just
quite a
talking
few
about. I think
places.
it's, yeah. I
Thr-
know of one in
All
Enoch. I
7
just don't remember
levels
where
are
else.
mentioned. Yeah, no, all 7 levels are mentioned in different parts of scripture. And actually,
Right. If you
West
can
Plays
flick
Music.
it, can you? Yeah, if you
Yeah,
could flick it through
I
to
can
me,
try to,
private message, that'd be awesome.
yeah, I'll try to find that. I know, because Westplay's music has a meme about that, and he talks about the seven
Thank you.
layers or levels of heaven, and he's got the verses for each level. So I'll have to go find that.
Okay. Yeah, if you could, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know Paul speaks about one or two of them.
Yeah, the
I'm trying
third
to
heaven.
remember which level. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
each
that's right.
level is
The first
mentioned.
three. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he talks about the first three.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. Because they're all seven are mentioned at least once in different places.
I think Hanak made
So
it to
yeah,
the seventh.
yeah. And I know there's some in Enoch. There's some in I think Ezra's,
Yes.
maybe
Yeah, but
Baruch.
are those seven heavens are those seven heavens still going to be there in eternity?
Yeah, I think it's the city. I think there's 7 levels in the city, which would be the kingdom. Yes.
Oh yeah,
And the top of the
well, yeah.
mountain
That's what I'm.
is the 144,000 that are sealed
Yeah,
with the Father's name on their forehead, and they are on the top of the mountain, and they follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They're the ones on the top of the mountain.
I think
144,000.
that it has to do with the seven churches, and also
Yeah,
which church, or sorry, not church, but ecclesia, which ecclesia we are part of as well.
sure.
And I think the renewed heaven and earth are going to still have these seven different levels. It's just which level we're on is going to pertain to, the work we've
How
done,
much? Yeah.
how well we obeyed, things
Yes,
like
they're
that.
obedient to him. Yes, obedience. Yeah.
Yes, but no, very interesting. I didn't even think about it that way before. But yeah, even it does say even those who, preach against a commandment, it says they're still going to be in the kingdom, just least in the kingdom.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
And it actually explains
Whether
why.
they'll be taught in that time, Jeremy, I don't know. Um, I don't know if they'll be taught in that kingdom and they can rise to a different level because they didn't know. That's possible. Or do they just receive a reward for everything they did here on the earth? I don't know.
I'm sure, we're all going to have the knowledge revealed to us. But maybe it's like the angels, there's the different angels, their positions, like the seraphim or the cherubim or the Ophanim.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's even seven different kinds of angels.
Yes.
Really amazing, honestly.
You, hey, Jeremy, you just cut out. We didn't hear a good chunk of what you just said.
Oh, sorry. So the angels, I believe there's seven different types of angels. There's like the seraphim, the cherubim, the Ophanim, um,
Seraphim,
the
or did
wheel
you already
within the,
say?
yeah, seraphim. Um, I don't remember the names of all of them, but I know there's like seven of them. I'm pretty sure.
And I know our arch deceiver was one of the highest ones because he sat on the left hand of the side of the throne of Yah before he fell.
Yeah, I think he was a same or something like that.
You just cut out
One of
what
those. I think he
what
was
was
a
it called?
seraphim.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Seraphim.
what I've heard. Yeah.
Now, in
I
a
think it mentioned.
courtroom, does the district attorney sit on the left side and the other one defending him sitting on the right in a courtroom? And I mean a natural earthly courtroom.
I don't know.
Just wondered.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that's actually a good question.
Hmm.
I wonder, but yeah, and no soon. So that ninth of Av, as they put it, it's a very it stems from Judaism, and they use it to symbolize like, well, the Holocaust, things like that. And they try to say it's an important day, but it's really not. It's just like Purim, things like that. They claim it as this high holy day, and oh, we find it in Esther. It's actually not. It's just a Jewish festival, a tradition. I think someone else had brought it up as well. Yeah, no, I get it. I think someone else had brought that up. And then when I looked into it, it's totally Jewish tradition, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
And that nowadays they use it to commemorate, the Holocaust, things like that. They're victimizing things. Like, oh, we're the victims. Feel sorry for us. But yeah, I don't want to say too much about that. Because if you actually look
Yeah,
into all
it's
that
kind of
stuff,
like when we do wrong. That's another area. When we do wrong, we want to play the victim, like "woe is me" or self pity. But it's something we've done that we're being disciplined for, and we want to blame everybody else and not take responsibility for ourselves. Um, but they were probably sent there because they wasn't listening, and that maybe that happened to them, But they want the victim mentality. Um, yeah, and that's self pity, and that's not good.
yeah, exactly. Because if you actually look into that, you'll see that was all fabricated propaganda. I know a lot of people don't like touching on that too much, and YouTube definitely does not like it. But
Yeah, yeah,
that was
I know.
all fabricated propaganda. And,
Yeah,
if you search on Rumble, not YouTube, but Rumble, you'll find quite a few videos about it because they delete those off YouTube, but you can find them on Rumble. I do have a few in our Hasatan, Synagogue of Hasatan tab in our other group.
I missed that, Jeremy. What videos are those about? What are
Uh, those who say they are Jews but are not.
they? Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rumble because you can find a lot of good stuff on there that keeps getting kicked off of YouTube.
WW2 and that whole, quote unquote massacre of them. It's all a fabricated lie. And they use that to look like the victims when they were actually
Behind it.
exactly.
And
They were behind it.
and because of this victimizing of it, they were able to get that land and now have what they have.
And YouTube usually erases the videos that show the evidence that that's all a fabrication. because, you know, they own YouTube. But Rumble, you can find them all over Rumble, all those videos with the evidence. Like historians, uh, all kinds of people, you know, professional crematory builders, things like that, all looked into all this stuff, went there to the site itself and said they found no evidence of any of what is claimed to have happened.
Right. With the chambers.
Yeah. Trying to be very careful because they
Yeah, I
definitely do
know.
not.
I know.
I will
That's
catch
why. Yeah.
a strike. I'll
That's why I said
definitely catch a
chambers.
strike.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no, so some of those videos are in the tab I have in our other group, the Synagogue of Hasatan tab. But that's a whole nother subject and
Yeah,
not
we
one we
won't get
can
into it
speak
now.
about. Wait, what's that again?
Oh, I just said it won't be something we get into right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. We'll just have to not put this part on YouTube. But no, there's a video. It's called Testament of a Nothing Burger. And it's actually in that tab. It's about 4 hours long, but it goes into a whole lot of detail and covers a lot of ground on who they actually are. And then there's a playlist I linked in there. And it goes through historians' accounts and, you know, ones who went there and they said, you know, there's no evidence of any of this. Not just one or two, but several historians' accounts. And there's also
Which tab
evidence
is it
of, you
on,
know,
Jeremy?
the Synagogue of Hasatan tab. Or
Okay, I'll
it
have a
has
look.
Synagogue of Hasatan in it. Something about the Synagogue of Hasatan. And my phone's acting laggy right now.
There's also another good.
Oh, yeah, I found it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
also another good one that goes
And what
into
was the
all
name of
of
that
that.
video?
It's actually the first one there. It's a Testament of a Nothing Burger.
Oh, yeah, okay, I've got that. Yeah, I'll listen to that soon then. Okay, sounds good.
Hey,
Yes,
Jeremy,
it's
Yeah.
nothing bigger.
did you ever the one that I shared on the chat about you are Amalek? Did you ever post
Oh
that
yeah,
one in
yeah.
there?
That's in. Yeah, that
That's
one's in there.
that's a really good one because he actually shows pictures and gives names.
Yeah. And no, I have a whole playlist in there as well of, you know, evidence that, you
Yeah.
know, what they say happened there. There's no evidence of it. And there's also a video that shows, you know, the CIA propaganda itself, where they gathered the German people, set them up in a line, and they paraded, you know, voodoo heads and lampshades made of human skin, things like that, and say, oh, this is what they were doing. This is what these people were doing. When in reality, that it's not at all. It turned out to be, it wasn't even real human skin. And those heads that they were showing were actually from like South America, like all kinds of stuff. And it was just propaganda, and they
So much
propagandized
lies.
everything. Yeah. And there's testimonies from, you know, people they thinking, oh no, I'm going into the chambers. It's done for me. And turns out, oh, it was just a shower because that's what it was. And that
Yeah.
gas that they use, or the gas, I shouldn't even say it's gas. It's a powder. And that powder that they use, it cannot be pumped through plumbing pipes. And it's like a proven fact. And they use that gas to actually, because there was a lice infestation. So what they would do is when they would gather all these people up, they would have them get dressed and like take all their clothes off because of the lice, shave their heads because of the lice. Then they'd shower and be given, you know, prison clothes. And that's why you see all these clothes and shoes and things like that. It's because just like in prison nowadays, that's exactly what they do to you now. Like if you're going into jail or prison and you got lice, they'll take your clothes and get rid of them. They'll shave your head and they'll make you take a delousing shower. Then they'll issue you prison clothes. That's exactly what was going on there. And the reason you would see so many, thin and malnourished people is because it was an outbreak of, what was it, typhoid or something like that. There was an outbreak, and it wasn't just affecting, them. It was actually affecting everybody.
The lies go deep.
Yeah, it really does.
Mm,
But they twist and manipulate it all to be like, oh,
mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
were the victims. No, 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 no. It's really wild, honestly.
I mean, even to the point like with, you know, uh, the fake NASA, going to the extent that they go to keep the lie going. It's the same kind of thing, just like with WW2. The bigger
It's
the
all
lie,
connected.
the
What
more
they,
they have to hide.
yeah, it's because it's compartmentalized. Like this section of people only knows this much about this. Another section only knows so much about that.
Man, I
And they keep it
remember.
that way.
Yeah, I remember a while back on Facebook, and I don't remember who it was that posted this, but saying that WW2 and Nazi Germany and all that, the way they portrayed it, was a huge lie. Oh, the backlash this guy got from everybody. It was pretty intense. But it made me want to look into
Uh,
it more. I'm like, I've heard that, but, and I don't, discount anything, after being proven wrong with some things in the past, because I've asked Yah to help me to have an open heart to everything, because I wanted to know as much as he was willing to teach me and show me. And so thankful he's patient with us.
So
But
you're an anti-Semite.
what was that? What? Wait a minute. What? What?
Anti-Semite. Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. I tell you, they do a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about getting people angry. Mm.
Yeah, I know.
but the thing is, they're not Semitic, so it cannot be anti-Semitism because they're not even from Shem. They're actually
No, they're
from
from
Japheth.
Japheth, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, Japheth. So it would actually be anti-Japhetic. So,
That was a good one, Jerry. Oh man.
I swear they have those key trigger words
Oh my.
that set both sides off.
This political correctness. Oh my goodness. It's ridiculous.
and most people know it's gotten out of hand, but they don't show any of that. And I think I brought this guy up last week, but there's a guy. He has a video. It's called "Why I Hate the Jays."
Yeah, I still need
But
to watch that.
no, you check it out. Like
Do you have
literally,
it
the guy
posted?
started out. Yeah, I shared it. It's actually in the Synagogue of Hasatan tab,
And what's it
but I
called
shared
again?
it here as well. It's called
Why I
"Why
hate
I
the
Hate."
Jays.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
Which I
yeah,
guess we shouldn't say hate, right? Like that's kind of we shouldn't hate
yeah.
anybody, but
That's just the
well,
title of
we're
his video.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but no,
Strongly
like
saddened about.
very dismayed.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting because he started out as you know being anti-communist is what he says, So he kind of gives his backstory about it and why he came to what he's talking about, which is wild. YouTube lets him get away with it, but I know if I try it, I'll get flagged. So I'm not going to go too deep. But basically, he starts off with saying, he started off, anti-communism, exposing communism and what's bad about it, things like that. And he started getting, anti-Semitic hits and people calling him anti-Semitic. And he was looking at, the people calling him that, and it were these different rabbis, and they were calling him anti-Semitic, things like that. And he was getting strikes and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, how is this anti-Semitic? It's anti-communist, anti-communistic. And so he looked deeper into it, and he found out who's behind communism. Oh, the synagogue of Hasatan. So this is why they're flagging what he said as anti-Semitic. And so he dug even deeper into it, and he found out who they really are. And this guy is not a believer or anything. And he found out who they are just by digging into it. And he goes in,
See,
he's
this
like,
is
these
why
not.
we just. Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
No, go ahead.
No, this is why we just can't take people's, just trust me, bro, because just do a simple look into it and it literally just starts to unravel, just crumble. And
Like,
I do say, like, people are catching on. They're catching on to the fact that looking into it, just asking questions is now becoming popular because we've been so led astray.
Can I just tell you what I read yesterday? Someone sent me a news link about what's going to be happening in Australia by the end of December this year. They're going to start rolling out the digital ID, but by the end of 2026, we should possibly be into the full digital ID system. But amongst the read-ups that I was reading, it said, and you're not allowed to speak against the you-know-who's, the synagogue of Hasatan. And it's like, what? How did they put that in there as well? I can't believe the words that I'm reading. It's actually saying that you can't say anything bad against the synagogue. They're not saying that word, but you can't be anti-Semitic. And then it said something about Islam as well. But I'm just like, are we really actually here? Like, it's coming. There's going to be a law against it. We know it's coming, and we've seen it and we've heard about it. But I just read it with my eyes that it's going to be in Australia next year, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
he
they hate
has,
they hate Joseph. They hate Joseph.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
just think about Messiah. He said, "But you seek to kill me. You hate your brother in your heart. You're a murderer." So they wanted to kill him because of jealousy, and they wanted to be rulers over the people. But it's the same with the house of Joseph. They hate us because we believe in Yeshua. And Yeshua said, if they hate me, they'll hate you also. So don't think it a strange
yeah.
thing when it comes.
And they got the same thing going in effect here in the U.S. as well.
Yes, they do.
Trump's pushing that whole digital currency, and don't ever speak about the synagogue of Hasatan or it's jail time,
Yes, yes.
things like that. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, it's coming.
Do
I
you
I believe.
know, what do you believe on that? What I want people to talk to me about that, what they believe. Like, I don't agree with it at this point in time being the mark, and because we don't even know where we are on the timeline anyway. But are we supposed to just completely reject this? Are we supposed to go and try and live without that, because we know it's going to shun all of us away from society, which we fully expect. But tell me what everyone's thinking, please.
Yeah, you're going to have to get out of the system totally when it shifts.
Yep. Yeah, my thoughts are, so it may not be the mark, but it's part of the beast system. So it's the whole no buying or no selling without the mark thing.
Yeah,
And
I don't believe it adds a mark, but it's like the beginning of, you need that to then go to the next step. There's like some
yeah,
sort of
exactly.
Yeah, it's a
internal thing
progression. It's a progression of
yeah,
walking
yeah,
toward and getting the mark of the beast, because you're giving it little by little until you're fully in it. That's how it's working.
I think the mark is going to be when they implement everything all into one. Like they're going to have your digital ID, trackable, traceable, with your medical history, your currency, your social status, all these things all linked up to one thing. Right now they're doing it separately to get people like on board, like, oh look, it's convenient, it's cool, it's the
Right.
latest, greatest thing. And
Yeah,
then
Yeah,
I'm
when
but
they
if you were
wondering.
to lump it all in one sum, yeah, people would freak out.
yeah,
I'm
Definitely.
wondering if we're even supposed to do the digital ID. And I know you won't be able to travel or go anywhere
Yeah,
unless you
I
have
didn't.
that.
I kept my regular license, but I know they're
yeah,
eventually going to push the digital ID. But
I,
no, go
I
ahead.
I'd stay away from it. I'm staying away from it right
Yes,
I
now
me
am too.
too.
I
Me
am too.
too.
I am too. Yeah.
because
I've
that's
actually seen
trackable,
one. I've
traceable.
actually seen a person who got one of the digital ID / driver's license, and it actually had that star right there in the corner. When the Fourth Reich
Yeah,
star,
Makes you
and
wonder
literally
if the
that star
mark
is on there.
on the
Same star.
forehead. Yeah, it makes you wonder if the mark on the forehead is the eye scan, and then there's one in the hand that comes after. I don't know.
Mm.
yeah, or it's some kind of chip they put there, on your
Could be.
forehead or right hand.
Could
And
be.
that's what they're doing too, because they have those stores now where, you you get a chip in your hand and you just scan it under the scanner, and like literally you don't have to stop. You just walk through, it scans all the things in your cart. You like scan your hand or something. There's or some chips in your hand and it reads it. So there's like no stopping, no waiting, nothing. You just walk right on through. And they push it
You
as,
remember that?
convenient.
Do you remember that commercial they had years ago? And I think it only aired like 3 or 4 times. But where a guy goes into the store and he has a shopping cart, he puts it in and he walks out. And he turns around to go back and pay, and the guy gives him his receipt. He said, "Have a good day."
Exactly
Do
what
y'all
it is.
remember that? I remember
Yeah,
watching
I
it years
remember.
ago. Yeah,
But no, that's exactly what it is.
yeah,
Just
you
like
bet.
that.
Yeah, it's kind of
And that,
like what they're
that
doing at Sam's. It'll count every item in your basket, and you're good to go.
because each
So
item has some kind of.
when we went to the water park, we just plugged our credit card in to the gate, and we walked in and we just took whatever food items that we wanted, and we just walked out. No paying.
Oh yeah,
It's already happening.
Because, yeah, because all your information is going to be on like the wristband or whatever it is that they give you. So everywhere you go, there's like, it basically transmits a signal to whatever they identify you with. And that'll be linked to your card, and whatever items you get, there's also a signal on those. And then it knows when you have that and it'll just charge you for it. And then don't worry about the receipt. We'll just email it to you, things like that. But, there's
This has
no
been
even stopping and
crazy.
waiting for a receipt. You just walk right on through, walk right on out, get what you want, leave. And it's going to be pushed as just
It's
the latest, greatest, convenient thing.
Man, I remember when we were talking about all this stuff back in the 90s. thinking, I wonder if we will see it in our time. Because we were talking about all this back in the 90s, the mark of the beast, what all it's going to constitute, and, digital IDs and cashless society and tracking you everywhere all this stuff. And it's just amazing to see that it's actually unfolding now before our eyes, and we're wow. It's a humbling and oh man.
Honestly, I had the
Neither
same.
will they hunger anymore, thirst anymore. Neither will the sun be down on their heads. Yeah.
Won't have to do anything because they're just gonna sit in their house all day. DoorDash is just gonna deliver their food and groceries. They're just gonna have a VR headset, and why leave your house? You can just put this VR headset and go anywhere in the world. You just have you got your DoorDash and everything you need right there. So you're not gonna hunger, you're not gonna thirst, because it's all provided for you because you've been a good citizen and your social credit score is high.
That good old social credit score. Woo!
And depending on that is going to, limit your abilities or give you special abilities to do things. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that either.
No, it's going to be such a test for all of us. I've been praying that we will all not have any fear, but to truly seek Him to the very core of our being.
Yeah,
Because we never know how we're going to react to this when it's forced upon us.
yep.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
like Peter and deny Him. I don't trust myself, and I tell Him
Man,
that every day. You know my heart. Search me and help me. And I pray that for all of us. Because we just
yeah,
don't know until when it happens. But if we continue to pray and ask Him to prepare us to have His courage, to be able to, He says, don't even think about what you're going to say in that day. Our Heavenly Father will give us the words and speak through us. Oh
yeah,
gosh, these.
absolutely. And yeah, about the social security and such, they've already talked about moving that to digital only. Same thing with tax returns. They talked about doing tax returns digital only, like digital currency only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's moving towards it fast. And Trump is a big proponent of digital currency.
He even brags about saying, and people have no idea what he's saying. And we will have this visa tracking system. We will track you by air. We will track you by land and sea. And everybody's like, oh, yay. It's like, do you know what he's saying,
Yeah.
people? Wake up.
Yep.
He's telling you,
That's the whole
you
thing.
are going to be tracked
Exactly.
everywhere you go. You want
Yep.
that? What is wrong with these
Yeah.
people? Oh, I'm
And they
sorry.
use it as they use the guys as, oh, we're gonna get these illegals out of here. Well,
It'll
yeah,
be
sure,
tracking. Oh.
yeah, sure, it
Uh,
starts with that, but then they start spreading it to everybody else.
yeah, we'll be considered domestic terrorists.
Well, yeah, they brought all the illegals in here, and they were the farmers, a lot of them. And now I look at some things, and all the farms are abandoned because they got rid of them. And there's nobody going out there to do what they did, so now there's a food shortage. There's nothing being grown in a lot of areas. Not saying that, they were all illegal. Some of them aren't, but the production is slowed way down. But I think we all need to learn to fast. and pray and test
Have
our
our hearts
bodies.
right with Him. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And with
let's
each
test our
other.
bodies and see what we can go through. Let's test ourselves to see if we can go without food for 7 days and water and this and that. Test
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Let's do it now. That way we'll know if we're able to stand or not.
Well,
Because don't wait till the day when we have to do that, because we
right.
will.
We will. Oh, it'll come a time. Well, we
You
will
bet.
go hungry. Oh, you better believe it. We do have to prepare ourselves physically and spiritually
Yes.
to the uttermost. Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, we
Yes.
don't know. We don't know what our flesh will do, so let's just fast for 7 days
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and let's see what we can do. But even in the book of Esther, also look, if you fast this 7 days, I'll show you this. And if you fast this 7 days, I'll show you that. And it was always consecutive sevens that he would show him something. And my goodness, I mean, we just need to do that and practice fasting and praying. Let's test ourselves and see where we're at. 14 is the longest I've ever gone. 14 days.
I remember I was doing a fast. This is when I was still in the Adventist church. And it was at the beginning of the, pagan year. And I don't remember. I think it was to break generational curses that could be
Uh-huh.
running, and I believe everybody has some kind of generational curse in their family, of
Uh-huh.
course,
Sure. Sure.
but nothing can be done except through prayer, and they always leave out fasting.
Yeah.
But prayer and fasting, that's how they were able to cast out demons. It said these type of works can only be done through prayer and fasting.
Correct.
And yeah, I think, let's see, I think it went about a couple weeks also just on water. It was extremely difficult, but he helped me through it. But I wanted to break some generational curses. And it was intense doing a water fast.
Yeah.
I think by the third week, maybe it was a week and a half. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And then I went to just juices or juice fast. So from water to juice, and then that it was pretty intense. But seriously, if we want incredible answer to prayer for those kinds of things, it only comes through prayer and fasting. A
Yeah.
lot can happen when we do that.
Yeah. He also told him that won't you, if you don't pray, you're going to enter into temptation. So when that temptation comes and we're not doing that, guess what? You're going to enter into temptation.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Man, we're
Yep.
serious times ahead of us. I mean, they keep saying sometime the end of this year things are going to start happening, but whenever it is, we just need to be vigilant every day, just seeking him with every ounce of our being.
Yeah. Let's put our
Yeah.
bodies through stuff and see what we can handle. That way we know when we get to that, we practiced it. We practice letting our flesh suffer.
Yeah.
And we'll be more
Yeah.
prepared. We'll be more prepared if we practice it. But a lot of people don't. They
Yeah.
just, or, so I would start out just doing maybe 2 meals a day, maybe instead of 3, um, and then do 1 meal a day, and then just work your way into it with no meals a day.
I was talking to a brother last night, and he reckons it doesn't surprise him. He lives in Australia, and he said it wouldn't surprise him if things start going haywire in the next couple of months. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I
Yeah.
think preparing. And the sad thing is, like where before my wife left, we had prepared. We had so much food stored up, etc., and it's just all been left.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had a dream years ago, and I've only had 3 that's really stuck with me. The rest of them I just throw out the door. But I remember going out. There was no electricity, no water. We were all in a There was gangs forming, all kinds of stuff. I remember a teardrop on a tattooed teardrop on one of the guys' eyes, and they all had guns and everything. I was out teaching to the gang members, and they were coming and repenting of certain things, but the leaders, um, they got real upset. And I was in this building, there was no water running, but I was able to go in this one. It was a 2-story building. It was real long, like a rectangle. And I was able to go in there and take a shower. I don't know how, but anyway, it had 2 entrances, one in one side of the door where I went in, and then there's another entrance on the other side of the building where you could go out. Well, I was about to walk out of the entrance that I came in, but I went out the other way and looked around the corner, and they pull up in their vehicles. They're after me. And this was so real. Um, and I've got a place over here that's similar to, and I've thought about it. I wonder if that's it. I don't know. But when I went out, they were coming in to get me, and I went out. I went over the top of this hill, came down over the top of a hill into these trees where these straight line trees are. And all I could see was a line of believers holding hands. Nobody was saying nothing at all. But all heads were bowed, and I just got in line and held their hand, but they were all lit up. It was like a streaming light of people holding hands. And we were all had our heads bowed and praying silently, not saying a word. And I saw this massive army coming over the top of this mountain. And we was out here. And I think they were Chinese. And the top of the hills. And all I remember to the last part of my dream is I looked up and these angels slaughtered every one of them. And I woke up.
Well, that's powerful. Wow. Praise Yah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
kind of like Eliyahu, you know. Um, he said there's more of them than there are of them. So they're going to be fighting too. They're going to be fighting and fight. And they will slaughter them. So interesting. That one always stuck with me. It'll never go away. Nothing to fear.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely interesting for sure.
Nothing to fear.
Psalms 91.
Do not fear. Endure to the end. Absolutely.
My dream was pretty simple, but a dream that I'll never forget before I came to faith. And it happened again after I came to faith, but I was actually working, waitressing. I couldn't get back to my table. Something was pulling me back. I couldn't work. And all of a sudden, the sound of a trumpet or a horn was just blasting really, really loud. And everyone just ran outside, but this sound was physically hurting them to the point that they were like on the ground in pain, just absolutely curled up, couldn't take it. It didn't hurt me. The sound did not hurt me. But I was trying to like tell them, no, it's okay. It's okay. This is it. So that's my dream. Very simple, but
Very
You know if
beautiful.
that was you know what trumpet that was, the 7th trumpet or what?
I guess
Okay.
Interesting.
Cool. That's neat.
Yeah, but maybe when everything is in the culmination, it's gonna hurt everybody, but it's not gonna hurt us. When we hear the trumpet, we're gonna just try to help everybody that's struggling.
Yes.
Maybe the sound is going off right now. And these people, they just don't want to hear it. Cover their ears in agony,
Yeah.
It's kind of
But
like
they
what just,
will. They will. I think when things start getting tough and they start seeing, remember how he led them out of Egypt? And when he delivered the children of Israel, it says the Egyptians knew, not the Egyptian army, but the ones that wasn't a part of the army. He said then they knew he was Yah. But the whole army got washed away in the water. But it does say that then they knew he was Yah when the 12 tribes got delivered. Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting.
So I think there'll be a lot of people that they'll finally get it. I think the Great Tribulation and a lot of the other things that are coming is to get people's attention. Father's merciful to them. A lot of them don't know, but they'll be repenting in dust and ashes. And he'll even have mercy on them, the ones that maybe aren't listening now or not ready to listen. But I think he's going to open ears then too. He's going to show them the fullness of darkness so that they can make a clear decision what darkness really is. So they can make a clear choice. And
Yeah.
they might not know everything, but they'll know I don't want that.
Yeah, it will be a clear choice
You bet.
between good and evil, between our Heavenly Father and between the arch enemy. Oh, it'll be made clear in the very end. They'll
Yes.
they'll choose whom they're going to serve.
Yes.
Just bear with me. I'm just trying to find the verse. I can't remember where it is. It talks about that in the day there'll be 7 women trying to cling to one man. And I think that's because they haven't been married. Just trying to find where it is now.
I think
I'm
that's
looking.
Yeshua. I think that's Yeshua personally, but who knows?
Oh, that they're trying to cling to Yeshua.
Yep. And say, let us go with you because we know Yah's with you.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of it like that. Does anyone else have any ideas?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the spirit in us, male or female, because our Abba is indwelling us and they recognize the spirit in us. And so these churches, and generally in scriptures, in prophetic things that they're represented by women. And whenever he's doing the calling out, come out of her, my people, come out of Babylon, they will all come and be joined to him. The ones that are listening in their spirit and following him wherever he goes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, interesting. And Shabbat Shalom, Ellie.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. It's good to hear you all again today.
Same to you, sister. How was your day?
Beautiful. Had a call this morning, started about 10, and it wound up going 4 hours, and we were discussing our Messiah's view of his father, and the anyway, it was just beautiful. It was a small group of people that I've known for years, and I've been learning some new things through the Word. We've been discussing just awesome things that the Father's been bringing to my attention. And we've been reading a book that I actually got from come on, we did the things for him. I'm not remembering his name. Jackson Snyder.
Yeah.
And he has a book by William M. Livingston called Jesus' View of His Father, A Perspective of a Thinking Christian. And there's a lot of food for thought in prayer and beautiful things. This elder man, whose grandfather even was an Essene. He's in his 70s. And his grandfather was an Essene, and his mother was an Essene. And so there's a whole lot he's aware of that those of us who are new to this are not aware of. And he's got so much depth to the things that he's sharing. So we've just been enjoying that.
Awesome. Yeah,
Found that
interesting.
verse. It says, "I 4 verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We shall eat of our own food and wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach."
So it's just one man.
I've always seen that from the other side, and that is that today we got all these people, or 7 churches, all calling themselves Christian, but they're not obeying our Messiah.
Sure.
They've got their own robes of righteousness, or not, but they've got their own clothes. They're providing their own.
I think we may have lost you there, Sister Ellie.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Well, we'll claim your name. We'll provide our own food and our own clothing. Well, it was the husband's responsibility to protect and to provide for his bride. She's one with him. And they're saying, no, we don't even care if you've got 6 other wives. we'll take care of ourselves. Just let us be called by your name. And that's essentially what Christianity is today. So that's
Yeah.
the flip side.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. It's that, well, we just want to do what we want. Just let us, be called your people. That's not really how it works, though. Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely agree. And that's what, was it Ray that brought it up earlier? Legion. That's what, where we get the word religion as well. Legion is in there. And he was
Or
saying,
denominations, demonations.
yeah. There you go. Wow. That's it.
Yeah, I tell you, when you go to the root of the words,
Yeah, truly, they have these hidden meanings, and yeah, just like that. And, wow, it's really amazing and wild.
it tells
Hey,
you.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
I tried to go to your Facebook and send my mom the YouTube about why I hate the Jays, and it says the video is no
Yeah.
longer available because the YouTube account associated with the video has been terminated.
Oh. Oh
And
no.
so I don't know, is there like another copy you have?
Oh man.
Or does that mean you can't watch it at all now? Dang it,
I
I meant to watch
figured,
it.
you know, that's hilarious
Yeah, because
because,
I'm curious
I
now when you
just,
guys mentioned it.
I just mentioned, like, I don't know how he's still on YouTube. And it's like, oh, the account. Wow.
So you just recently posted it?
She
Yeah.
posted it a
Wow.
few days ago, and I was trying to send it to you, Mom.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to see it.
No, his whole account's been banned. Yeah, I just tried going to it. Oh, wow. Yep. They got to
Oh,
him.
what a bummer. What was the guy's name?
What was it? Does it show? Hold on. I forget the name. He wasn't a believer or anything. Does it say his channel name? It was some weird channel name.
Man, I'm really kicking myself that I didn't watch it sooner.
Does not have it in there. Man. He was even showing clips from the rabbis how, we are nothing but cattle and slaves and, these things.
That's why we never really own our own property. There's always some kind of limitation of what you can do. And if you don't pay your property tax every year, you end up losing it. We never truly own any of that stuff. It's a joke. So yeah, we're definitely slaves and cattle to them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, now that you can hear me, I wanted to take it back to denominations and what denominations are in money. This bill, this $5 bill, denominations of bills, 1s, 5s, 20s, 50s, 100s, and the foundation for that. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, they're the ones who created it as well. The banks and all that.
Yeah, on Jackal Island.
Yeah.
On an altar that was, I don't know if anybody else has watched that. End Times Productions does a little bit of into that. I can't remember. I think it was before the Federal Reserve came to the United States, actually, but really gruesome stuff, actually, when it goes into the history of how the US dollar was made.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make me want to carry cash at all, but at the same time, I'm like, unfortunately.
Huh. I'm not familiar with that. I think I read a book about Jekyll Island 15, 20 years ago, but I can't say that I remember much of details.
I could look for that video and send it to you if you want me to, Ellie.
That would be cool. Thank you. Hopefully they won't have taken down that video too.
I don't think that one's as censored. I don't know. I don't think that one's as censored.
Yeah, the
Hey,
guy was. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, if you carrying cash, obviously Yah talks about just weights and measures. Just make sure you carry a silver dollar with you, or even gold. Gold's probably a bit too rich to be carrying around, but yeah, just carry a silver dollar. An ounce of silver. Because that is a just weight and a just measure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
and
think I have
also
some gold.
they can't accuse you of being a pauper and take you to these camps that they're starting to open up now if you actually have some true silver on you.
Yeah. And
Well, just think we're talking about exposing them for what they are. Messiah did the same thing. When he exposed their works that they were evil, then they killed him. So the more they're getting exposed, that's when we know we're close to them wanting to do the same thing.
Oh, I was just thinking that the other day,
yeah.
Lee. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just
Nailed it.
thinking that the other day.
Yep.
Because my husband, who's, sort of in the world still, and he's got me pestering him with all with all the stuff that I say and tell him, but even he's seeing it, and he talks about it with his coworkers, and so like it's definitely not just a remnant that's seeing it. A lot of people are seeing it, like just like you said, and I was like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to hide those kind
It's
of
close.
acts.
Yeah, it's closing in. It's closing in.
Yeah, and that's what this guy was doing. That video, his account is now banned, but he was straight laying it all out there. He's like, yeah, these people are evil. He's he kind of did a little a voice about it too. It was hilarious, but
We should start a movement
man, it's
called "Quit Calling Us Goyim."
yeah,
Goyim
yeah,
hate.
exactly.
Goyim hate.
Yeah, he
Right.
would say
Hey,
that.
let's just put a
Like,
target right on their back.
yeah, and clearly that guy was speaking truth. He absolutely was, and that's why his account is now banned.
Yeah,
Sadly,
we're supposed to expose the
clips from the
evil.
rabbi's mouth. Yeah, expose it.
Expose it. Bring it to the
And
light.
and
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, Ellie.
Well,
Sorry.
all
Try
we
to
have
say
to
that
do is
again.
read their own published writings. All we have to do is read their own published writings. That's all we have to do, but nobody does that. And they don't want their writings
Yeah,
exposed either.
yeah, exactly. It's
I'm
literally in their writings.
I'm wondering, he makes that statement in Revelation that because you say I am rich in need of nothing, and they got all the money in the world, and they don't think they need Mashiach. They don't think they need. Yeah, and I wonder
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they throw them into great tribulation because they're saying that. We know it's the Church of Laodicea, but maybe that's who they are. I don't know.
One of the things that really struck me about this whole thing was some years back. I was reading by a man who was in psychiatry, I think, and he said that the Jews are the
They cut her off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right
I
at the.
think you. Yeah, I think you're cutting out though, Ellie.
Yeah, it was breaking up there a bit.
How come they call themselves Jews and they got the J?
Yeah,
Andrea.
that's That's
did a beautiful breakdown on basically like the origin of I will not do it justice, so I'm not even going to try to repeat what she said, but basically it was like the word Jew doesn't even stand for Judah. It stood for something else. I can't remember what she said, but it was fascinating. I hope Katrina was like able to like record that part, or oh no, that part was recorded. I just don't remember what study it was from or what Shabbat gathering it was from, but she was able to, I mean, just really go into good, especially with the dialect that they speak too, because I don't believe they don't speak true
oh
Hebrew, right?
No, they speak
yeah,
Yiddish.
no, yeah,
Speak
that
Yiddish.
yeah, it's Yiddish.
Yeah, because
That's
yeah,
what
I mean,
it was Sister Rachel, right? Or
no, it
no,
was
not
no, it
Rachel.
was Andrea. It was Andrea.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she was super good with going into the dialect and how, Jew doesn't even come from Judah, like they claim and what everybody else thinks, but it comes from something else, and uh,
Yeah, yeah.
too bad
Because she
she's
was saying how in their country, it's a different word for them.
yes,
I forget what it was, but yeah,
because
yeah, I remember
I hope
that.
somebody reminds me, but did she say something about like Khazar, like coming from like some kind of like Khazar?
Yeah, the Khazarian.
Yeah, like I feel
Uh,
like I'm really butchering this, but it was very fascinating. I mean, because who are we to know? We're in freaking America, like
yeah, yeah,
like I can only be fed stuff that, we've basically been taught, and again, most of us had an understanding that we thought that those were the chosen people until we started looking into it more. So, we're not around those areas, and they erase anything else that has to do with, any bad talk of them. So, yeah, we don't it was just fascinating.
yeah. And uh, wasn't she in Romania or something
Yes,
like that?
yes. And
And yeah,
yeah, and I just too bad she's not on, because I just want to pick her brain, because yeah, the way
yeah,
she went into it was so cool. Because again, like that going back to like, the parts of the body, and everybody's uh job and everything is, like we can't be everywhere at once, and people experience different things, but we all have the same goal. And so we all bring something to the table, whether it's big or small. And her going into it like that was just wow.
yeah. She doesn't make it on for every meeting, but she does show up
I
every
want to
now and
say
then. So
Katrina shared
maybe,
a little part of that, a little app. Yeah, and
yeah, she
I
did.
don't know where. Katrina, if you can hear me, do you maybe have that saved to your phone?
I don't remember sharing it. What
Okay.
was
Remember,
it?
it was Andrea on here.
That,
She was speaking about the Khazars and the Synagogue of Hasatan and who they
and they
really
recorded
are.
it?
Yeah, you did, because you shared
Yeah,
it
you
on
recorded it,
Facebook.
shared it.
I just
Yeah, you shared it on Facebook.
Well, then
Did
it would.
anybody ever see the Khazarian God Eaters by Charles Swindoll or Chuck Swindoll? It's part 1
No,
and
interesting.
2. Yeah, it is really interesting.
Wow, I didn't know Chuck Swindoll would do one like that. Interesting.
It's his son.
Oh,
The one who had the
okay.
ministry, it's his son. And he's
Okay.
done some serious homework on various things. And he might have come to a different place than we are, but I think that his documentation is pretty good.
yeah, but Katrina, if you could find that, I don't know where else to look. I could probably just go to your feed and scroll.
No, yeah, right. Maybe check my TikTok.
Your TikTok? Okay. I
Yeah.
think you're my only
I
friend on
don't
TikTok,
remember which
Katrina.
session it was.
I only got it because
Aw,
of you. I only got it because of you.
that's Yeah, that's all you need.
I
All right, I'm checking your TikTok.
don't remember. It was on one of our fellowships. I don't remember which one it was, though.
Maybe,
It's quite a
maybe
while
I
ago.
should call her and she should go through the spiel again.
I mean, it was great. I just remembered being like so wowed.
She's the one that posted, and that's the one that Robert and Jason are on right now.
Oh,
That's her
Yes.
post. Yeah, that's
Well,
her post.
yeah, maybe she want to jump on for a second because I'm just not doing it justice.
Here, let me jump off. I'll try to call her.
well, yeah. If they were on her post, we should definitely back her up then, like 100%.
Well, I was just on it to look at it, and I tell you what, Robert likes to bait, and it's a very dangerous spirit, I feel like. Did you see his last response?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
he
But
was like, "Oh, there's
you,
another copy and paste. Oh, got nothing to say now?" Like,
yeah. See, no, you described it perfect. He baits, and so
we're not supposed to do that.
like I said, yeah,
It's not a good
he's
spirit.
been dodging our questions for, yeah, he's dodged our questions for nearly a year, has refused to answer them, and that's the attitude that we get right there. It's truly sickening and disgusting. Like he cannot answer for our questions, but then he does these Pharisee trap questions. Like he throws that trap out and then hides in the bush and he giggles, waiting for someone to come along and fall into it.
Did he change his
And then,
sorry, does he do like a it doesn't say Robert Villa, so you don't know it's even him. It's like under a different
prophecy
Yeah.
vine. That's Robert Villa,
Okay. He's
100%.
always commented on stuff using his Facebook, but now he's using his ministry one.
Yeah, well, because he's gonna hide behind
Yeah, I
that.
thought
He
so.
thinks he thinks we don't know who it is. It's like, yeah, we know it's you, Robert. I haven't called him out because he commented from Prophecy Vine's channel on our video where we debunked their method. He was using Prophecy Vine's account and commented. And so, his comment, it didn't even address all the evidence we showed proving him wrong. He was just responding like, oh, these guys fabricated the day after the Sabbath thing. So that's why, last weekend I went right to it in the Dead Sea Scrolls itself and was like, here it is, Robert. It's not a fabrication. Yeah, I called him out in that chat. I was like, yeah, Robert, we know what you're doing. Why have you refused to answer our questions?
Yeah,
And then,
sorry.
Yeah, and then I repeated the questions with the evidence and said, now address them, please. And he still hasn't. But he'll go around with his, pompous attitude, prideful attitude with his nose in the air. And just his disgusting remarks.
I think you need to stop casting pearls before swine.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I know, but when he's going on other people's posts, though, and saying, oh, no, what she's saying isn't true, I mean, man, he's jumping in and causing, yeah.
That's all right. I quiet him down. I quieted him down really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I told him. Yeah,
Yep,
he's
because
got
when he
nothing.
sees...
I just didn't like his
he
last
doesn't.
comment.
Anytime he sees me, Katrina, or Marissa, he'll run away. 100%.
Yeah. Like a dog with the tail in between his legs every single time. Because he can't answer the questions. He can't face up to the fact that what he's doing is so much deception in this Zadok community. He just can't face that fact.
I put it, the Khazarian Mafia, the God Eaters Part 1, I put it in the
Oh, nice. Thank you, Ellie.
You're welcome.
I can't find it on your
Yeah,
TikTok, Katrina.
Well, we'll just maybe even if we have like a private get together just to go through that so I could record it again.
Yeah.
yeah. She has that cool.
Yeah, I want to
What is
watch
it?
that. Thanks.
The way she speaks. Yeah, yeah. No, she was explaining it very well. I do remember you recorded it and shared it,
Yeah, I remember
but
it
it
too.
was on a. Yeah, it was a while ago. I don't remember exactly which fellowship. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's kind of sad. The one guy's entire video or entire channel got taken down. I was wondering why I had not seen videos from him.
Can
He
he
knew
make? You
he
can
knew
make
what he
other
was
videos, right?
chancing. He knew what he was chancing. You might find him on Rumble or one of these other ones too. If people
Yeah,
know how to go in and do searches, he might have
that's
like
true.
a backup channel. Though one lady that I really appreciated, what was her name? She did a lot of things like that. 5 years ago, she's very uh, delicate looking, blonde hair. And I'm not pulling her name right now, but she was showing the the light versus the darkness, the checkerboard, the whole game they're playing out there. As she became a Christian as a late teen, young adult, and just lovely, lovely researcher. Loves our Savior. I don't know what all she knows that we know, but she did become a Sabbath keeper. She did deal with a lot of the things that we have. And when I come across her again, I'll let you know. Oh, probably Alexandra, I think is the name. Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, that blonde haired girl. Very
Yeah,
fair. She was dealing
she's
with
just
voice
very
issues.
precious.
She
She's
is.
so precious, and she
Yeah.
knew that and she blanked out words so that they wouldn't pull her down faster than they needed to, and she found backup channels in other places and so on. I don't know how to find her in the backup stuff, but
Yeah, she played it really smart.
yeah. She does a good video. I think it's an inconvenient history or something like that. Yeah, she has some good stuff.
an inconvenient history, an inconvenient. I mean, it's just really sweet the way she titles things too.
Yeah, she's the one that actually, because she did that video, and she's the one where I learned actually, and I tested it for myself. But Satan himself is the Antichrist. That's where I first heard it, and I was like, "What?" And I looked into it, and she has an entire video about just that subject, and she goes into all the details with the scriptures, and that's what I tested it out, and I was like, "Yeah, she's right. It's literally Satan himself who is the Antichrist, the anti-Messiah." And it all goes back to, when he entered Judas, Messiah called him the son of perdition. And that's the anti-Messiah is the son of perdition. So that it was like a big clue.
Oh wow! Like, doesn't that make sense? And it's so simple. And we've been misdirected looking at this and that and something else our whole lives, right? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden this Holy Spirit teaches somebody something and it's real simple and like, duh.
Right? Yeah, like something so simple like that. And because that's why everybody's like, oh no, it's Obama. Well, oh no, it's Trump. It's King Charles, or this person, that person. Well, honestly, it's none of them, because it's Satan himself. So they all got it wrong.
Right. And anywhere we are not in submission to Christ, in that area we are antichrist. It's like the human condition
Yeah,
until we're
yeah,
converted, you know?
yeah, exactly. They are one of many antichrists, but the antichrist himself, that's literally Satan.
Hmm?
And it's when he enters a man, just like he did Judas, just like that's what Messiah called him out for, son of perdition. I'll have to find that video.
I don't think I've
There
seen
it
it.
is. Yeah, it's probably Alexandria. Yeah, inconvenient religion, an inconvenient duality. Where is it? I know it's one of these videos. I think it's the inconvenient religion. I could be wrong. Or no, it's this who is the Antichrist? There it is. Here. I'll share it. I found it. That video. I shared it there in chat, but it's who is the Antichrist? The Antichrist investigation. Probably Alexandria. And she covers a lot of the scriptures and goes into depth about a lot of it and shows, look, it's Satan himself.
I think it's Alexandra rather than Alexandria.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, probably Alexandra. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, are we talking about the lost library that got burnt down?
Yeah, probably Alexandria. No, it's Alexandra. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, she has some good videos. I first watched her Inconvenient History video. I think that's the first one I saw of hers, and I was like, wow, that's really good
Right, back
information.
in 2019, I think.
Yeah,
Is when
yeah.
I saw that.
It was because her friend was going through something, and the same situation. She all she did was look into it, and guess who she found was behind it all? The Synagogue of Hasatan. Surprise, surprise, huh?
Yeah, I think that everybody that doesn't see it is under a spell.
Yeah, they must be, honestly.
And they will be vicious to be their guard.
Yeah. They're going to stand up for these people who would literally, throw their body in the garbage and step all over it. It's really wild. They defend the people who would call them slaves and enslave them and their children if they had a chance.
It's really hard for me to share Eddie Chumney's videos because I think that he still thinks the Jews are, because I think he calls like Brother Judah, stuff like that. And sometimes I'm like, should I even share this? Because he's very much thinking that they are the tribe of Judah. So that's unfortunate. Lee, maybe you could help him out with that. Oh, wait, he's not on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really easy to do the research. Clearly, they try to hide it, but a lot of it's not. It can't be hidden. It's already out in the open. So you just do a little bit of digging, and boom, there it is.
Well, and just a simple judging their fruit,
Yeah,
knowing
that as
every
well.
vein of society that they control and are in and are encouraging. We've talked about this all the time, but it still shocks me to the level that they with everything that they are in.
Unless anybody make any mistakes, we're not saying that everybody of that bloodline is wicked. There might be people that have hearts for him, and he's got the ability to change people's DNA whenever they turn to him. So I'm not worried about that. But some people really react to this thing, and they think that we hate them all, and that we're, the whole programming that they've done with this anti-Semitic stuff.
Yeah, that is true. And it's not the people who are caught in the deception, it's the leaders themselves, the ones pushing this on everybody. And then, it's just like Christianity. The ones sitting in the pews, they're the ones who are deceived. And it's the one preaching at the pulpit who is the deceiver. So it's not a blanket statement for, anybody who declares themselves as a follower of Judaism, we're against. No, it's about the organization and religion itself, not the people.
Yeah, I mean, you have to ask yourselves, why has every president we had gone to a Jesuit school?
Yeah.
Literally.
And
I mean, because I never used to know that.
Went to every president we have went to what?
A Jesuit school?
Interesting.
Yeah. You have to be a part of the club.
Yep. And then
But
Obama's
that's
on
where they
camera
teach
saying,
governance, and
yeah,
and for safety, it's called J suits. Okay.
Mm.
yeah, J suits, yeah, because they are J's in a disguise.
President Barack Obama, or I guess ex-president, talked about
I was about
how
to bring it up.
he believes everybody needs to have Jesuit principles.
Yeah, he did. He said America needs to
That way
run
we
on
can all pretend to be married to somebody of the opposite sex.
yeah.
Well, that one's still under wraps.
Yeah.
Just don't talk about that.
Big Mike.
She's clearly a woman.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, look at those biceps.
I've got some mama
Look
muscle.
at that. Yeah.
I don't know
Not
about that
only that,
one.
there's a few videos of her wearing, tight dresses. And there's
I've
definitely
seen.
something there. Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And 100 years ago, that would have never happened.
Yeah, no.
They kept
It's
it
even
under
funnier
wraps
when
if
you're
it was
seeing.
happening.
It's even funnier when you see her stand next to actual women. She's so the stature when you compare her to actually like small actual women is astounding.
Yeah, like those tennis players or whatever. Those beach tennis players.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I forget the
Yeah.
name, but yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Well, I should probably change the subject. I think I took it down a wrong road here.
Do you see what Robert Villa did in the comments there? I sent all the patterns that
You're talking
Marissa.
about the copy and paste.
Yeah, I sent him all the patterns, the write up about all the patterns that Marissa found, and that's what he has to say. See the
Yeah, that you had no original thoughts, and I told Jeremy you had got off to see if Adrian could get
yeah,
on,
she did.
and yeah, but I said that he doesn't. He's baiting.
Yep.
Well, and there's a good word for this. It's called an obfuscator.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah.
Th- That's where you throw a bunch of words at something to avoid dealing with it.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah, yeah. Kind of reminds me of what my kids do. My daughter will be like, "Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." Carl will be like, "Well, you're stupid." Has nothing to say back except for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
obfuscate.
Yeah, the childish.
Obfuscate means to make something unclear or confused, often intentionally. A politician might obfuscate their stance on an issue by using vague language and avoiding direct answers.
Mm.
What does obfuscate the truth mean? Some people, experts at obfuscate, being evasive, clear, or obscure in telling of the facts.
Does it have Robert Villa's personal name under that definition? Because it sounds exactly like him.
Wow.
Obfuscator. Robert Villa.
One of the words under obfuscate is to make unintelligible, confusing, bewildering, and so on.
No, that's what he does. As you can see with his responses, like he avoids answering the question, and then he'll brush it off. Oh, no, you got nothing new today or nothing original. It's like, are you gonna ever answer the question, or are you just
Nope.
gonna, sidestep it every single time it's brought up?
He won't.
Yeah,
He
he
won't.
won't. Because
He
it
won't.
proves him wrong. It absolutely proves him wrong. I think it's cute when he tries to comment on our videos. I laugh at it, and then I bring up the same question. Are you gonna address this evidence, Robert? Oh no, you're not. So keep your mouth shut and keep your comments off our videos. Unless you're gonna answer for the evidence we have proving you wrong, and feel free. Apparently, he has some of his lackeys watch our videos, or he does himself, one of the two. Did you try?
Like the videos of the fellowship,
Yeah. He's like, I hear what you
like
guys say
everyone.
about us on your videos. It's like, yeah, it's the truth, dude. If it ain't true,
I
then
mean,
or if it's not the truth, address it then. Oh, but
it's
it is
just
true and you can't
sad.
address it because it's going to be wrong. So you'll never address it. And instead, obfuscate.
Word of the day.
I'm not trying to always bring the subject back to him, though. Like, we probably mentioned too much. We shouldn't even give him the time or the credit.
Well, like I said, he just makes us stronger. So all these things that he did and this calendar that they created only
Yeah,
made
thanks for
us
sharing those
big.
videos. Awesome.
Wait, could you hear me? Could you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's exactly what I'm about too.
I don't think he could hear me.
The demonic AI type of stuff.
Could anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think Jeremy's
I can hear you.
signal is cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's talking, and I'm like, wait, maybe he
Yeah,
can't hear
it's
me.
definitely we gotta watch over our shoulders constantly. You know, not only about the wolves, the vipers, and the snakes, but the technology as well,
Yeah,
the demons.
it's it's not like we bring these people up, Jeremy, because we're gonna give them any credit like they think that we are. Why we bring them up is because we are studying what they are doing and we're finding all the errors, but it's also making us find the truth in the process. So, had they not come up with what they're coming up with, we wouldn't be.
Yeah, we've almost been going another 8 hours here too.
Could you hear me, Jeremy?
Uh,
I don't think Jeremy could hear me.
Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Jeremy? I don't think he can hear me either. Now, Katrina, going off of what
That's
you
wild.
said, I wonder, Jeremy said that he listens to our videos and is like, I know what you guys say about me, but you mention all the time that you watch every person's calendar to see,
Yep.
if there's anything that we could be wrong about, if there's anything
Yeah.
that we haven't considered, because we
Mhm.
know that we're not the only people that have a part of the puzzle. Can he see the same? Does he listen to our videos with that same mindset that he
No.
wants to have parts that are missing? Because
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I watch videos all the time too, trying to be like, okay, like I don't really want to listen to this person, but I will because I know that I'm not going to have everything.
Yeah, I do that all the time. And it's so important to do that because had I wrote off, like, say, Mikkel Shabbat, I would have not gotten all the really awesome information that he had on the Saturday not being the Sabbath thing,
yeah,
And I'm still going to go in, test out. Someone just sent me another video to watch, and I watched it and I wrote a rebuttal. And now the guy that actually authored the video is coming back at me and saying, oh, you didn't watch my video and you don't know when a day begins. And he wants to say, oh, it begins the evening. I said, this is why I only had to go through one of your videos to understand that you are false.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want me to go through the rest, I'll go through every single one of them. But, today I had that meeting. I will go through and I will comb through every single one of them and find the errors. But that's the thing is, like, they're just so stuck on the moon stuff that it's hard for them. And I get it. Like, it is some kind of a spell and delusion that they're under, but
It's so easy to disprove. So easy.
but that's the point though. It's like, I thank Robert. Praise Yah for Robert doing what he did, and praise Yah for, Jason doing what he does. And it's only helping our argument it keeps helping us to find the truth.
Yeah.
Had we not had them, we wouldn't be so far as we are today. So I'm thankful for Robert. I am thankful for everybody. We wouldn't be at this place without them. We wouldn't.
Hair.
yeah.
Agreed.
Really. So they
No,
do play a very important role in this. They are to cause us to seek the matter out.
yeah, and that's the thing. They don't even take the information that we found and put it to use at all. Like all the stuff we found in there that confirms more Zadok. they don't even consider that. They focus on this divider day, and they try to discredit the divider day. And it's like, we've already proven the divider day. So you can go ahead and try to discredit it as much as you like. But we've already discredited every method that he's used. We've discredited his moon method. We've discredited his intercalation.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. Apparently Dominique can't hear anybody. Oh, they just left. Oh, they're back. Can you hear now, Dominique?
Yeah, it might be doing what it did to me. And I couldn't hear anybody, apparently.
Oh, sorry, they were commenting in the comment section.
Yeah, no, I see that now. Yeah, you may have to exit. Yeah, leave and come back in.
Sometimes if the app isn't updated, I don't know if that plays a part. Check internet service or something. I don't know.
It could be several factors.
Yes, gotta love technology.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so we'll watch videos and we'll try to gather what we can learn or see what they're doing wrong. And Robert doesn't even do that. He'll listen for whatever part that we're, speaking truth about him. And then he tries to turn it into some aha, I gotcha question. And it never ends up working because we just bring it right back to, are you going to address what we've brought forth to you? And then he'll dodge it. Oh, well, how long have you been doing this method? Same length you've been doing your method, Robert. Yeah, the app may need an update. Yeah.
I just want to say how much I love y'all again.
I do too.
I mean,
I love you too.
Yeah, what
I
fellowship
love you, Mom.
is this? 30? Are we at 40?
30. No, we're at hold on. I gotta look. See, 36.
Hey, it looks like
Wow.
we've got 113 members now.
Yeah, praise Yah. Yeah,
Hey,
we got quite a
Miranda, I'm
few.
glad you love this fellowship enough to invite somebody else to come.
Yes, I'm trying to talk to my adopted mom. She's Baptist. But she called me last week and I've been talking to her about the apocryphal books for a while. And she's finally curious about Enoch. So I'm like, yes, start with Enoch. I will help you.
Yeah,
Guys,
absolutely.
could you hear me?
No,
We can
not
hear you.
until just now.
Yeah.
With Robert's calendar, he does the intercalary, or he does the addition, the week addition after 6 years or 7 years? 6 years,
6.
right? Okay.
Yeah, every 6.
Yeah. I just responded. What about those questions I asked you that you refused to answer? You make a fit over the void day every year, but yet you void out a week at the end of 6 years because you don't skip it every year. Any evidence about adding a week at the end of 6 years? Any evidence of making the year 371 instead of 364?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of days. That's a lot of days.
Yep. Yeah, I've asked him that same question too.
King
The
David
verse in
never,
Jubilees that shows it.
yeah, and King David never wrote that many days.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's I've been hosting a Jubilees reading and discussion call. And now it's on Gregorian Friday nights. And if anybody's interested, let me know and I can give you the information. You can call in. We have a few people that come in and we read and discuss what we're reading there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Not everybody is convinced on the solar calendar yet, but that's all right. We're getting the hang of things, I think.
Yeah. No, me and Katrina had a run-in with the Black Hebrew Israelite lunar Sabbath followers the other day.
Oh my
Are
gosh.
they
Oh,
full
boy.
moon ones or new moon ones?
No, it was the
Oh.
new moon. And
Oh
Okay,
my
because
boy,
there's
God.
a full moon group too. All right.
They
they were
are
they were
intense. And,
yeah.
someone sent me it, you know how people will send you something to test, and I'll go in there and I'll test it out. And then it got to the point we're going back and forth. I'm just showing them all the evidence. They're like, well, come on alive and do it. I'm like, all right, I can do that. So I knew that I knew what they were going to do. I already had a feeling. I just went on to, try to be nice, and I tried to, and the conversation was really nice. I said, there's nothing like being on time for Yah's calendar, and, we need to be truth seekers. I was kind of nice in the beginning, and, they agreed with me on certain things, but I said, I couldn't really walk through all the scriptures right now because I was at my dad's. I didn't have my iPad, so I couldn't, close down that phone and go through all my notes. But I was just like, I could go through it in, a quick swoop of what's going on, and I could come back later when I don't have, or when I do have my iPad, and we could go through it. So I started to describe the beginning of the year, and I started to explain the difference between the solar cycle, the lunar cycle, and Yah's cycle. And they were just like, no, 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 no. Where's the verse for that? Where's the verse for that? I said, I'll get to them after. And then I invited Jeremy, and Jeremy was like right ready to come in and say it. And then they just kept barking about Psalm 104. And I was saying, yeah, that verse is a good one. The moon is definitely a witness. It says it's for sun's for day, lunar's for night. That's all it's saying, because that moed there is just appointed time. And they started to read the verse, and I said, oh, you just added a word in there insinuating that it was Yah's appointed festivals. No, that's not right. That's it, just a meeting time, or it's just a moed. It's just, and I was like, I could show you all the scriptures on that too. And then he muted me. And then he blocked, and no, he didn't block me, because I was able to private message him, and I sent him all the stuff that I wasn't able to say. But then Jeremy couldn't even get a word in. He just,
Yeah, I started to read. Yeah, I was going to read the verses, and they interrupted me and started going on how, oh, Chodesh means new moon and this and that and another thing. And I was like, well, I have scriptures that actually show that that's not true. And you were asking for them, so here they are. And I started reading them, and he's like, excuse me, I'm talking. I was like, did you not want me to read these verses? Because you asked for them literally every second until I finally pulled them up, which took like 30 seconds. But he asked 30 times in 30 seconds. You got those scriptures? You got those scriptures? You got those scriptures? And I finally get him up, and he talks over me and says, excuse me, I'm talking. just very rude. I was like, you know what? Never mind, guys. And I left.
Did they know you were white?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Y-
You know, they were.
You know,
Well, if you're a
yeah,
Hebrew
sorry.
Israelite, have you ever asked them do you speak Hebrew? Let me hear. Because Hebrews speak Hebrew, and they don't. And then it becomes about a racial and a color issue
Yeah.
when it's Yehuda one inwardly a circumcised heart, not the outside appearance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the
Yeah.
whole racism stuff. It's
I don't.
just totally uncalled for.
Sure, sure. And
No.
I don't care
And
if
you know the
Messiah,
other.
people say, well, Messiah's black. I don't care. I don't care if he's purple.
Yeah,
Right?
truth unedited. Truth unedited is a little like that too, unfortunately.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The other excuse people use regarding moon and month is, oh yeah, but month means moon, and I turn around to them and I say, yeah, in your pagan Latin language it does, but moon is Yarek in Hebrew, so
Ooh.
it's got nothing to do with it. So I was just talking to somebody a few days ago, and they had some pointed tithe book, and I said, oh, let me guess, it talks a lot about the moon, and he goes, yeah, and I said, well, nowhere in the scripture does it talk about the moon except for creation, where it talks about the moon and it's Yarek. Everywhere else it's renewed, Kodesh. So and they said, oh yeah, but moon means month. Month means moon, and like I said, yeah, in your pagan Latin language, yeah, it does, but not in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Exactly.
have a
That's the other
question for
thing.
you
That's the other
guys.
thing they try and get you.
Oh, sorry, Timothy. Or Ever. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that's another excuse they use. They reckon moon means month, but yeah, well, maybe in their pagan language it does, but not in Hebrew.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, what was your question, Ellie? Are you there, sister?
Ellie? Yeah, Ellie, if you're talking, sweetie, we can't hear you.
They sent me an article by the same guy, and I'm going through it, and um, some of the
Oh.
things I'm not. I'm not. A lot of it's just here's the tradition of men. All of the, when he's saying about this is my thing. Well, all English dictionaries and English Bible commentaries and English that they all say that Chodesh means new moon, and it's like, oh man. So we're gonna base our stuff on the tradition of men? Anyway, so I've just been puzzling on it, and I was writing. Would you like to hear my notes on it?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We always love hearing all your notes, sister. Oh,
Uh,
you may have- oh, there you
Pardon?
go. Oh, we hear you now.
Okay.
Awesome.
And this is my reflections on what I was listening to. The attitudes and teachings of men who sell their works and make a living from the gospel with their lordship and hierarchical judgment is common to man, regardless of their doctrinal position. That does not give evidence that the information they are sharing is inaccurate. It only shows their weakness in living off the tithes of their brethren, and the carnal Gentile attitude of lordship has caused them to esteem themselves higher than they ought. Pride, arrogance, and to speak and to separate from others by their knowledge that puffs up. And He goes into writings, this is writings attributed to Paul about knowledge puffs up. Every community
I think it's breaking up there a bit, sister. Is it just me, or
No,
did
it's
it
not
cut out
just
for?
you.
Okay.
No, it's not just you. Yeah. A lot of spotty service today.
Hey, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, oh, there she is. She's back.
Okay, well, I was thinking about just giving up.
Don't give up.
We hear you now.
Okay, good. So this is another aspect of reflections. Every community and individual with a relationship with our Abba has a responsibility to organize and associate with others as they see fit and partake of his love in relationships. Every community and individual who has chosen the the God of this world, by whatever name they might call him or them, also has a choice as to how they associate, and they will, like their father, the devil, use lies, manipulation, deception, fear, and force to govern and are to gain power over others. And then he's going to, I'm asking questions from what he said. Is it true that God made a covenant with Israel? Is it true that Moses was given the responsibility to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt? Hey, that's separation right there. That's going on a different calendar right there. Is it true that the leadership of the latter part of the Second Temple were not following our Abba's ways, but were using lordship and hierarchy and making money to live above the people in their positions of compromise with the Roman government? So these are all ponderings on what he's saying. This man is taking the general calling out of Babylon and the way some people interpret it to use a broad brush of emotional reactions. At 1144, Dead Sea Scrolls calendar fallacious and without foundation. That's what he's claiming. And James Tabor, who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says 70% was not written by the Dead Sea Scroll community. 30% of the sectarian scrolls were written by various Jewish sects. So then they have the sectarian scrolls, which are apocalyptic, messianic, new covenant, many parallels between early New Testament believers may or may not have been related to the Essenes. And then they go into Eddie Chumney and Avi ben Mordecai and Monty Judah. He's referring to them and how he views their ministries as being divisive. And he says 165 to 75 BC that the sectarian scrolls were written then. And he says that this doesn't
I think it happened again.
I think it happened again.
Hello?
Okay, I think I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Okay, well, do you guys want to do something more productive than listen to me read and be cut off over and over?
Oh, I'm
Well,
so sorry.
Yeah, no, we want to hear it.
We just want to
The
hear you.
technology.
Where's the last thing that you heard? Or can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I hear you now. I'm trying to remember. It was
About
going in and out there.
About Eddie Chumney and Monty
Okay.
Judah.
Thank you. Yeah, he was claiming that they are teaching things that you cannot support through the big picture of the Dead Sea Scrolls with the scholarship, and that they don't know Hebrew and that they're this and that or whatever, and that they're trying to make money off the gospel and stuff. Once, if I'm remembering.
Oh my goodness. Ellie, we swear we want to, well, we shouldn't swear, but we promise we want to hear this.
Yeah. The technology is not allowing it. So it seems like they made an article trying to discredit the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Eddie Chumney did?
No, whoever she was speaking about there.
Oh, gotcha.
Ellie,
They were
maybe
trying to,
put it in the chat and someone could read it.
yeah, she's not she might have lost signal. She's not in the chat anymore. Yeah, it seemed like somebody was trying to discredit Eddie Chumney and the Dead Sea Scrolls, talking about, half of them weren't even written by the Dead Sea sect, and that's not true. If they had actually read the Dead Sea Scrolls, they would see that that's not true at all. Well, hopefully she's able to get her signal back. I don't know what happened. It must be bad signal or something, but I'm interested in what she was reading there. Can you guys all hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems there's a lot of technical difficulties today for some reason. Well, we've been on another 4 hours, another 3 hours and 58 minutes. Basically 8 hours today. Yeah, does anybody else have anything they would like to talk about or anything? Or if not, we could probably end it there for today. See if we can get some of these technical difficulties fixed. You got anything you want to add, Katrina?
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
All right, yeah, I guess no one has anything to add.
Yeah.
So, you
I
don't have
gotta get the
anything
kids.
you...
I
Oh,
have to
okay.
get the chillins ready for bed. And
Yeah,
I'm
no worries.
dominating over here with Robert.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably help you out here in a bit once we get off.
It's good. I just kept saying, oh, yeah, and king of the gaslight. Then I go, well, maybe one day you'll answer the questions that you keep